Hello? I cannot hear you.
I had my mic muted. Hi. Yes,
Hi!
it is a Rabbit Bunny.
It is very Rabid Bunny. So, what can I call you? Rabid Bunny? Viper the Overmind? What do you prefer, sir?
Well, my name is David. You can call me whatever you want.
What, what would you
Fucking
like me to
feeder.
call you?
Hey,
Hey, that's my joke. That's my joke.
whatever works.
All right, I see what you did there. Well, what would you prefer to be called? Because just to be funny, since you stole my joke, I will call you fucking feeder for the rest of the coaching session, and then probably get my account banned. Well, what do you want to be called? Otherwise, I'm going to combine everything you just told me into a name.
Whatever works. I'll respond. I mean, I doubt that you'll actually use whatever
You're right, I'm lazy.
you, because we're in a call. Only people in the call.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, so let's figure out what you want to talk about. And since you were kind enough to let us start a little bit later, I'll tell you some extra super secrets that I normally don't tell anybody. So
Awesome.
your original message
Hey.
was when not to engage, which is interesting. Sometimes around mid game. So what do you want to do? Okay, we can do that. How to play when behind. Better awareness of the opposing. Okay, cool. We can do that. And then impulsive. I'm not really sure what that means. But here, so walk me through what you mean by all these, and then we can break it down. And this will again be recorded. I'll send you a video afterwards, so no need to take notes or anything. And interrupt me because I talk too much.
All right, I got you.
All right. So when not to engage, what do you mean by that?
Sometimes when I lose the game, it's usually because I play tanks, frontline people, and I go in at bad times, and then I get me and the rest of my team killed. I have bad judgment on that stuff sometimes.
So it's more like how to get good judgment on when to engage.
Yeah.
Cool. And we can figure out when it's good to engage by looking at when it's not good to engage. So that's fine. We can look at that both ways. All right. What about sometimes around mid game? I don't know what to do. What do you mean?
Sometimes after I've cleared all my jungle, we don't have wards in the enemy jungle. We don't know where they're at. My team's just farming. Objectives are down, stuff like that. I don't know where to be, what to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to replace
kind of
that with how do I close out games, because that's something everybody has problems with. That's what I have to deal with in low diamond all the time, and even I had to work on that too. I just got coaching myself from a smarter player than me, and he's like, oh, here's what you need to do. So here, let me relay that to you. We'll give you some good stuff there. But yeah, we can definitely go over that. Okay, so how to play when I'm behind. That's pretty easy. Is that just hey, we're down 10,000 gold, but nobody's FFing. How do we win?
What I mean is, usually when I'm down, I tend to overestimate my abilities sometimes, like how much damage I can do, how much damage I can take. I know that you're not going to go at someone with a nuke with a BB gun, but I can't judge what type of gun I have compared to what they have.
Got it. Okay, so we can figure that out. That's not bad, actually. There's an easy way to do it, is what I'm trying to say by not bad. Okay, better awareness of the opposing jungler. You've been watching the stream quite a bit, so we've gone over a bunch of that stuff, but I can walk you through what you can do. That one's pretty easy. What's up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Impulsive. What do you mean by that?
The going in at bad times, the not thinking beforehand. And I know I have to make a checklist of what I have to do, like check some spells, check cooldowns, all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, but it's hard to do that when you have a 5-second window, and it's either you do it right now or you don't, right?
Exactly.
So that'll come more with time. You need to start doing that checklist thing. Maybe play very simple champions, so no Nidalees, no Lee Sins, no Azirs, and then it frees up your brain to not have to worry about a bunch of other stuff. Because if you're playing a Mumu, it's not that hard to hit W. You know, you have one skill shot, so that frees up your brain for the other stuff. And then as you practice on those simple champions, suddenly the checklist becomes second nature, and it'll just take over when you play the more complicated stuff. My mod is telling you just to get good, which is helpful. Ignore him. He's actually a really good player, so I'm hoping he has some good insight. All right,
Okay.
so here
With the simple champions, I
Well, first of all, who do you play? Let me pull up your LoL King. Because, like, I saw Shyvana up there. Looks like you play a lot of her. But let's look.
yeah, I've been playing a bit of her lately.
I'm going to screen share a few, too, so you can just see what I'm seeing. That might be easier.
Okay.
Shyvana is interesting, too, because there are... Let me know when you can see.
Skype. How do I get rid of the chat box on Skype?
I don't know.
There we go. I got it.
Skype is confusing and weird, and every time I open it, it feels like it's completely different. But it lets you screen share, and it's free, so that's why I like it.
Free is always good.
Yeah, it's better than not free. Okay, I see. So you're kind of all over the place. All right, so I guess like Volibear is actually a simple champion. There's some mechanical stuff you can do with like flash Qs and auto attack canceling. But if you compare him to like Nidalee, like which one would you say is more complicated?
Nidalee, without a doubt. I've
Yeah.
been trying to stay away from the more complicated champions. I have been trying to do the simple champions because I don't know the game very well yet. I've only been playing for in total about a year.
Ah, okay. So yeah, definitely stay away from those guys. What you need to do right now is just play games because that's how you get stuff like the hey, do I win this matchup? Yes, no. Well, you just have to try it and figure out your limits. And probably not in ranked is when you want to do that too, because like obviously you're gonna screw up a few times and engage when you shouldn't because that's part of the learning process. But if you never do that, you're never gonna learn, so it's gonna be hard. Because if I tell you, oh, here is every one of the 10,000 situations when it's smart to engage, and here's a list of 200,000 situations where it's not, like no, you're not gonna remember that, right? But
Well, that's where I bring up the flashcards.
Flashcards, all right. Hey, all the more power to you if you can do that. But realize the game changes every 2 weeks, so those flashcards are worthless.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, Chad is saying like Warwick is simple. That's like the simplest jungler out there, though. That's like almost too simple, Demetrius. Like let me give you another example, David. I'm talking with the chat a little too, but like people will sometimes ask me, hey, how do I get better at map awareness? And like the thing I recommend is you get like a little metronome or a metronome app that beeps every 5 seconds, and every time that happens, look at the map. Another thing I recommend is you play like champions that actually have global alts. So like who would that be? Twisted Fate, Shen, Nocturne, stuff like that. And the reason being is Riot has already balanced their kit around that global alt. Like if you think about those 3 champions, all of them have really simple kits. Maybe Shen is a little more complicated since it's changed, but they exist that way so that it frees up your brain so that you can be looking at the rest of the map. So Riot already does a pretty good job. But that's just some stuff we can do. So I don't know. Here, I'm talking too much. Which one do you want to go through first? Because we can talk about a lot of things. Your lesson, you decide, man.
Okay. So give me the options then.
Yeah, here, we're screen sharing, right? I have them right up here. Here's everything.
The screen share turned gray for me.
Fantastic. Let's make it not gray. Stop sharing. Let me know if that happens again so you can actually see things.
Alright.
And let me get rid of the donation goal. We're really close to that 500. I'm going to give away things, but I'll get rid of it for now. So here's everything we talked about. Can you read? I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller if you're just a masochist.
No, I'm illiterate.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay. Engage, close out, win
Yep.
behind. So the judgment and awareness, think beforehand. I'm pretty sure that's just going to be experience spamming games, stuff like that.
Yeah. And
Uh,
I can give you some drills to do that'll help speed that up. So like we'll still talk about it, but which one do you want to start with? But the long answer is, yeah, you just got to play.
how about the engage and close out games then?
All right, cool. Let's work with engage. So you've seen me coach before. Give me some example teams. If we have a video, it's easier too. But give me your team, give me their team, and then let's use RiftKit and talk about it.
Actually,
What's up?
I've noticed when you do this before, usually you lead them to the answers that they have, and you already know the answers from the situations.
Mhm.
But if I were to make the situation like you usually have them do, then there's a stronger likelihood that I would know what's going on. So what if you make the teams and then I tell you what to do?
Well,
And you
another
say no,
reason
yes.
I ask for you to make the team is I don't know what you're dealing with. I've actually looked back at everybody's match histories after I've asked them to make the teams, and it's usually stuff they have problems with that they put on the enemy team. And stuff that they either like playing with or just played with in a really tough loss on their team. So there's kind of a method to the madness. But if you want, I can just make up like a shitty team comp, and we can run from there. But I'd rather like you have something that you actually play with regularly. Because like right now, I don't know what you play in the jungle. Because I'm looking at your played champions and ranked this season. I see 3. So I would pick Volibear. But I don't know if that's helpful.
I can tell you who I play right off the bat if you want.
Who do you want in the jungle? Like, are you even jungling? Are you a mid? Are you a top main?
I'm a top jungle.
Top jungle, cool. So what are you playing this game? Top or jungle, and who are you playing?
I'll go jungle volley.
Cool.
Simple, easy.
So what's good with Volibear? Like, let me tell you what I would want my teammates to pick, maybe, and then that'll be good. So what's Volibear's kit? What is he really good at? What is he super weak at?
He's really good at running in and doing bear things.
Yeah, he's just a bear. He just does the bear stuff. What else is he good at?
Tanky. Very tanky. He can peel. He can do a limited pick. He can grab someone out of position and make them more out of position.
Yep.
He has a slow. He can't. When he gets kited, that hurts him a lot. Anything with percent health kills him really quickly.
Yep. Another thing is his passive. Yeah. When he gets below a certain percent health, he heals back up. He has a mini Mundo ult. So that's something good too. And what that does is it lets you tower dive very early, which means you can be a lot more aggressive and you can outduel anybody because you just have too much health. It also gets better if you use different masteries. Like you could take Wind Speakers on Volibear, and it wouldn't be that bad. It amps healing by 10%. So every time your passive heals, it'll go from here. Let me show you.
I found it. Heals and shields are 10% stronger. Additionally, your shields heals on other allies increase their armor by 5 to 22 based on level. And
so that's better on like a Soraka than a Volibear, but at the same time, your passive's up every minute or two, right? So 10% stronger on a 30% heal means 33% heal instead, but it also gets boosted a little by this runic armor one, which you're probably taking. 8% stronger. If you get a Spirit Visage on top of that, it suddenly starts becoming 40% health. And then if you have like a Warmogs and a Spirit Visage, like you have so much freaking health. So that 40% is a very big number. That's one of the reasons Volibear has such a huge win rate. Like if you look at champion.gg, he's just really hard to kill and hard to deal with. You need coordination, and that doesn't really happen in dynamic queue. Like look at this monster.
54 or 55?
54.72% for platinum and above games. So right now he's king of the jungle and nobody really knows it. Sejuani's up there too, which kind of surprises me, but the last couple patches have been kind to her. So shh, don't tell anybody.
I think it's your influence.
No nerfs. No, she's bad. She's bad. She's horrible. She's the worst. All right, so going back to that, like that's what Volibear's good at, right? So his strengths, if he can get to you, he's tanky as hell. He can peel pretty well for things. And he actually has some decent damage building tanky from his execute, but he sucks with getting kited. Same kind of problem that Shyvana has, right? So if he sucks getting kited, what else do we need? If we're going to pick a fight, what do we need? Because Volibear won't be able to do it. They have an Ashe, they have a Zilean, they have that stupid support item that spins out the spooky ghosts and slows us. We're never going to get to him. So what else do we need?
I would like another frontliner to come in with me.
Yes. Okay. So do we want our mid laner to be frontline? Do we want our AD carry to be frontline? Like what?
It's the top.
It's the top. Thank you. I'm asking again because this is how I coach, so you know things. So,
yeah. I know.
So let's say we have a Maokai, because that's what I would want. He's a little broken right now. He's a freaking tree. Every one of his abilities is essentially a CC, so that'll be good. Mid, let's go on Azir actually. Another reason I'm saying Azir is because Volibear, again, he gets kited. So if we have a Maokai and an Azir, we have 2 champions that can kind of help us engage. What's something else that might be good on a support?
Thresh would be nice. I'm a big fan of Thresh.
That's what I'm thinking too. Or like Blitzcrank. Pretty much anybody that can help bring people to you. Thresh is good because he can hook people, jump in, throw his lantern to like help you close the distance and not be kited. And also, like if people are engaging on him, he can box them in, which holds them in. He can flay them to pull them back. So really like Thresh. What about AD carry?
AD carry. Again, I'm a fan of Sivir.
Sivir. Okay, why Sivir?
She would be nice. That when I have to play ADC, I play Sivir or Jinx. I don't know ADCs very well.
Okay, no worries.
But
What in Sivir's kit would make her ridiculously good with our team comp here? There's one ability I'm thinking about.
Is awesome with an engage comp.
Her ult. Her ult makes Thresh go fast, makes you go fast, makes Maokai go fast. Like they're not getting away. If somebody mispositions, you're just gonna eat them because you're a bear and you run fast with Sivir ult. Also, stuff you can do. I was poo-pooing it earlier, but there's an item that's very good that works well with Sivir ult. I'm completely blanking on the. There it is. But have you ever tried building Righteous Glory on Volibear?
I have. I stopped doing it when they changed it so that it didn't speed up your entire team.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. Like, oh, it's shit now. Last Shadow looked at it and was like, oh, this is a stupid item. Why would you ever buy it? This right here is ridiculous. Like, I actually tried it in game instead of just being like, oh, this is dumb. And like somebody slowed me, then I hit the active on this, and they didn't get away. And I was so fast, and I had Swifty boots, I had my movement speed quints, I had Dead Man's Plate. It was terrifying. Because 75% of like 500 movement speed is a lot. So this item would also help synergize really well with all that stuff. So that works on Shyvana too, although she doesn't like the mana from that item. But champions like Volibear, where he can use every stat well, it's super good. But right now I really like your team. So let's make the enemy team super shitty to play against. So what does Volibear hate?
People who kite.
People who kite.
Kindred would probably hurt me a lot.
Yeah, let's do Kindred. That's actually a good one. AD carry. Let's just make it a nightmare. Well, we'll do Ashe.
Okay.
What about support?
Ashe?
Yep.
Support.
Let's actually do this.
Leona?
Leona I don't like, because if we're doing Team Kite, does Leona kind of fit?
No.
She can have played well, but in Silver where you are, like if there's a Leona in the enemy team, she's going to go in there. If they're Team Kite, they want to kind of like fight, run away a little, and just keep slowing you forever.
Slows Karma.
Karma could work. I want to do Zilean, though. Do you know what Zilean does?
Yeah, his overclock. I haven't seen a Zilean support in ages, though.
If you keep playing Volibear, and you will climb, and eventually this will come out, and you will stop climbing, because it is annoying as hell. He will build that freaking AP item with the spooky ghosts. He will have multiple slows, because if he lands 2 bombs on you, he gets a stun, right?
Yeah.
And then he also has just a point-and-click slow that just... Because like he can either speed up an ally or he can slow you down. So what happens is you're trying to run at him, he slows you down. Right when the slow wears off, he hits you with the 2 bombs to stun you, because you're really easy to hit when you're slowed. And then if you keep going, then he just hits the spooky ghost, and the entire time he's spamming his mastery emote, and it's the most annoying thing ever. So let's just run with him for now. We could do a Karma. That's actually a good one too, because as you're chasing her, she speeds everybody up. She has that tether on you, which will bind you. So that'd be a tough one too. But let's run a Zilean, just because I just played against one, and I kind of want to talk through so I can figure out how to beat it, because it's annoying.
Sounds good.
What about mid? What would be bad on a mid laner for you? Percent health damage and kiting on Kindred, kiting on Ashe. Zilean will make sure nobody dies. What else mid would be annoying?
See, usually the only person I play mid is Annie. Ahri? Ahri kites a lot.
Let's do Ahri. Against champions like Volibear, Evelynn, Shyvana, champions that have to run in a straight line. Hecarim is another good example. Champions like Ahri are really good picks. Champions like Elise would be a really good pick too. Why am I saying that? What do Ahri and Elise have in common?
They have the stuns.
The stuns,
the roots,
yes.
Whatever.
But Ahri has her charm, Elise has her E. It's a straight line skill shot, right? So
Yep.
If you're running in a straight line chasing people, it gets a lot easier to land that. It also makes it so you can make some very flashy flash plays, but against an Ahri, if she misses her charm, then you flash on her, she just ults away and then laughs at you. So this will be super annoying. All right, what about top? What else would be super duper annoying to play against? Let's do this, just because I want to help you with your decision making. This will put a lot of pressure. Why would a Tryndamere be good in this team comp?
Split pushing.
Split pushing for sure, because are you gonna have an easy time or a hard time catching these guys if they're on the other side of the map?
Really hard time. And when we're dicking around with them, Tryndamere's just going to be taking our towers.
So what happens if they actually 5v5? Why else would Tryndamere be annoying with this comp?
He can all in with his ult, and he's got good sustain.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about these two
His key.
particularly. What do these two do that synergizes really well with Tryndamere?
Which two? I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Kindred and Zilean.
Okay, it gray screened again.
Oh, that's horrible.
They'll never die.
They'll never die. So, let's say Tryndamere runs in and starts wailing away, and then right when you're about to kill him, he uses his ult, and then you ignite him and all that stuff, and then Zilean uses his ult on Tryndamere, and then right when he comes back up, you're about to get him, Kindred drops her ultimate. And then you're all super duper low, and Ahri just cleans you up. Or Ashe does 1W and everybody dies. Like that's kind of the scenario I'm imagining. Like this would be super annoying to play against. So
It's still gray.
Still gray. I just shared with you.
I've never had this happen before.
Do you have other stuff open?
Yes, I have League and Google open.
Okay, so nothing too crazy. Maybe close the League if it gray screens again.
Okay.
Reading chat right now. One thing that Mordor is recommending, when you're newer to the game, like you mentioned you've only been playing for a year, something that's really, really good is every single day, pick one of the free champions that you've never played before and just play a co-op versus AI game as them and understand their kit. The fastest way to figure out what people... What's up?
I kind of gave up on the co-op versus AI games when I could get like over 100 kills 3v5 on bots.
Right. But what you want to do is just play to like learn something new every time. So if you're playing a champion you've never played, like play Azir for the first time in co-op versus AI. I guarantee you won't get 100 kills on your first time playing it.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean? So play something you've never played before, and if it's too easy, don't use runes and masteries or something. Make it a challenge for yourself.
Okay.
So you can do that. You can also just try a troll build. One of my favorite things to do. Have you ever heard of Ultimate Mastery? Or Ultimate Bravery?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ultimate Bravery, yeah, I have.
If it's seriously getting too easy and you're bored learning new champs, just plug this in. Click this, and oh look, AP Jhin with an item that doesn't exist anymore in the game. It'll get
AP Jhin.
It'll be more interesting. I wish they would update this site. I miss doing this. Stream, check out Ultimate Bravery if you want something entertaining. But yeah, like that will help you figure out all. Like if you're newer to the game and you're having trouble with judgment, well, one of the better ways to get better at judgment is figuring out what every single champion can do, so you know what's happening. Because if someone whips out a Galio, you've probably never played against one if you're brand new to the game, because he never gets picked. Like, can you tell me off the top of your head what Galio even does?
Yes. His ult, he turns into a statue, draws everybody in. He
Nice.
scales off of MR. He has a tornado that goes forward and speeds up movement. He also has a shield.
Cool.
And that's all I know about him.
But, I mean, that's his kit, so that's good. There's some other stuff, like his little tornado speeds up his teammates and him when he walks through it. But, like that's kind of nitty-gritty. But that's good that you know that. So that's a good first step. Can you do that for every one of the 120, 130 champions in the game, though?
Name one. I'll give him my best.
Oh, no, I'm not going to just name random champions. But if you can do that for Galio, you're probably pretty good. But if there's ever one that you don't know or you don't understand, or patch 6.9 comes out and they just change 20 of the champions, just play through them in a co-op versus AI game. It'll be super quick. You'll still get IP, so you can buy runes in the new champions or whatever. But it's just a good exercise to warm up and make sure you understand what everybody can do. Like I do a co-op versus AI game every day before I play ranked. And it's to work on mechanics, it's to warm up my fingers, so I don't know. Maybe you think it's a waste of time, but I get a lot out of it.
Okay.
And like sometimes I'll just play Sejuani and be like, I wonder if these runes will have a faster clear. And I put it into his Excel spreadsheet afterwards. Be like, no, they didn't. My runes are the best because math. But you never know until you try.
I can definitely see the value in that. You're right. I
Alright.
have been poo-pooing it.
I also like it because every once in a while, like you can just help out some brand new player who has no idea what they're doing. It's kind of fun. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this so we can see things. Volibear. All right, so let's talk about when to engage, when not to engage. So, do you want to talk about like mid game, late game, early game? Like when do you want to focus on for that? We can do all three.
Okay. They gray screened again, by the way.
Ah,
I closed out League.
this is not going to be very effective if it keeps gray screening. So maybe we'll have to think of something different.
All right.
Maybe you screen share with me, but that'll be hard if I'm drawing arrows. Nah, I don't know. Let's just keep trying this for now, and if it happens again, we'll figure something out.
All right. All right. Early game, people usually don't roam around that much for
Yep.
me, where I play at.
Well, early game is going to be more 1v1s, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But do you have
So-
trouble with that? Like here in this
No.
matchup, do you win a 1v1 versus a Kindred at level 3?
At level 3?
Yeah. Like she's level 3, you're level 3. Mid and top both are recalled. You're fighting right here by the Baron Pit.
Are mid laners conscious?
Your mid laner is someone they're playing on a Blackberry. You know they keep walking into a wall. Your top laner just recalled. Nobody has teleport. It's just a weird situation where it's just you versus Kindred mid. Nobody's coming to help, and there's a scuttle crab with a mark on it. Do you fight the Kindred? Do you win?
I don't know.
Ah, okay. Well, if you don't know, this is the kind of stuff we got to work on. So here, let's run through this scenario. So 1v1.
Probably what I would try to do would be run in and steal it with my bite and smite or something, or maybe try see I'm getting low and then run away and then die to kiting.
Well, let's talk about this actually. If you run in and use both your smite and your W on the scuttle crab, what other damage do you have?
Nothing. I have nothing. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Now let's say that you don't do that. Like the scuttle's right here. Here, I'm going to draw it. It's going to be beautiful. I really hope your thing doesn't bug out. You know. Oh wow, it got rid of my stuff. But there's the scuttle. I think he has legs. They're probably not this big, but he's running around, right? So
Okay.
let's say this is like a full health crab. It has her mark on it, and she's the blue one, you're the orange one, and you just see her doing it. And it's like full health, and she starts auto attacking. She throws her W down. She starts queuing around. Can you beat her? Yes or no, and why? And if you don't know, I can walk through my thought process. Because the answer is you can beat her, but only if you do something very specific.
You catch her, and if your passive's up,
Yeah, your passive is up, too. Let's say it's up because you're not a noob at your clear. Because you can do a full
Yeah, okay.
clear of Volibear and be full health the entire time. He's a really strong jungler right now, guys. So she's hopping around, and she's trying to do the scuttle. And you're just waiting in this bush. So how can you beat her? Because you can beat her.
am I slow? If I save my slow when she starts jumping around?
Here, it'll be kind of hard for you to guess at this. Let me just explain like what I would do. So this scuttle crab, it has her mark on it, right? And I'm gonna get rid of these goofy legs so I can just move it around. So as it's like walking around, she's following it because she really wants that mark. Because every Kindred player in the universe wants to get all the stacks they can so they can do all the damage in solo Baron or whatever, and do that, right? So if this scuttle crab is like at half health, she probably has smite up, so it's like 400 or 500 health. Is she going to be focused on you when you run in, or is she going to be focused on the scuttle crab, or is she going to be focused on both?
Both.
Both. So if you go in and just start attacking the scuttle crab, and you just, let's say you even kill it, what's going to happen?
She'll go straight on me.
She'll go straight on you. But if you leave the scuttle crab alive and start attacking her, what happens to her? Like, think about the Kindred player's perspective. Like, what do you do if the scuttle crab is almost dead, and then a giant bear just charges out and starts attacking you?
You try to finish it off and get out of there.
Maybe. Or you fight the bear. Or you get crippled by indecision and then you screw up because it's a high pressure situation and you're in silver and people don't know how to handle stuff like that. You know what I mean? So worst case scenario, if you just run straight on her and attack, she runs away and you get the scuttle crab because you have more than enough damage to murder her. especially if she already used her W, because that only lasts for a set amount of time. So she won't be able to use her Q over and over and over again, because like her W is probably out. Maybe she chases the Scuttle Crab out of the W. I would wait for that. Like if you notice, like let's say the little ring around her is her W, and the Scuttle Crab is coming out here, and she leaves her W, right? Well, her W's on cooldown, she can't use it. That means she can't get the extra wolf damage. She can't get her Q to reset quicker. So she has a lot less damage. And another thing, too, what a lot of Kindred players will do is when this gets low, they'll throw their E on it. So if you just sit here and kind of wait, you can wait for her to go on cooldown, and then you 100% win that fight, because she can't get away, and you just kill her. But let's say she doesn't do that. Let's say she uses her W here, and she walks over, she saves her E, and then Scuttle Crab's at like 500 health, you jump on her, she throws her E on you. So walk me through the fight. What happens then?
What's her E?
Her E is, it marks you, and it slows you down for like 1 second, and then if she gets 3 autos, the first one counts as 1, it does % missing health damage.
Yeah, okay, the circles around you.
Yeah. Yeah, the 3 little circles, so it's 1, 2, and then wolf jumps. So that'll do a lot of damage, but it's only missing health damage. So if you're full health, it's just going to tickle a little. But walk me through this fight.
Yeah. Okay. She comes in, she's going on the Scuttle.
Yep.
I come in, she's not quite sure what to do.
When you say come in, what does that mean? Do you flash in on her?
No, I'd probably just walk in.
Yes. Why do you just walk in? Yeah, save your Q.
Save my Q if she tries to escape.
Why? Why do you save it? Why don't you use it immediately? And if you don't know, that's fine.
Don't want her to escape?
Exactly, yeah. It's that freaking simple. If she's going to get away, you want the thing that lets you chase her down, right? If you use it immediately, and yeah, she's running here, you might just Q her, and then you kind of wasted it. But if she flashes over this wall and starts running away, I want my Q so I can chase her down, so I can flash after her and go murder her. So definitely save your Q. All right, and she's going to be probably chasing this crab still, so what can you do when you actually get close, get in melee range? Walk me through. Volibear's a pretty simple champion. I'm not looking for anything too crazy.
Well, I'm going over a couple options. I know I could hit a few things to get my W up. I could slow.
Seems right.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so she's chasing the Scuttle. As you walk in, you slow when she gets close enough with your E, and then auto, and then I would keep autoing her until she goes away. Is Kindred squishy or tanky at level 3? Squishy. She can still outduel you a little, because her passive heals her for 100 health or 80 health or whatever it is. They keep changing her numbers, so I don't have them memorized. But I mean, you're a freaking bear, and level 3, you're still going to have quite a bit of health on her, and your passive is up. So she's going to have a hard time finishing you off. So as you go up there, you can either start with your W, because it's on a decently low cooldown for this kind of fight. Or you can just keep auto-attacking her until you think you have lethal, and then you can just go and blow the W. Because remember, it does more damage the more health she's missing.
Yeah. Okay.
So I would do that. Let's say she can either go for the Scuttle. If she goes for the Scuttle, she's dead. And again, you mentioned if your mid has a brain, he'll be coming here too, right? Hopefully. So you should spam ping that just so he can back you up. Because maybe the enemy mid has teleport and teleports to this ward right here that you didn't know about. So that would be good, but we're assuming that they're both back in base. None of them, they're both running Ignite or something. So you're all 1v1. But if she chooses to chase this Scuttle Crab, you just kill her, because you're gonna get a bunch of free damage. You have your E, auto. Maybe when the Scuttle gets low enough, you smite it. I would save your W, because even if she gets 1 stack, if you kill her, cool. You can go take her jungle and set her behind. But in this situation, you can actually 1v1 her because she isn't strong enough to do anything yet, and you're a frickin' tank bear. But
so Volibear's a...
Yeah, go. What's up?
Okay, so Volibear's a strong early game champion.
Mm-hmm.
Who can't I 1v1 early game?
There is a reason.
Who's stronger than me early game?
I would argue no one. There are certain matchups that you don't do well in, but I don't think anyone can really 1v1 you early. Like here, like there's a reason he's up this high right now. And people don't realize that he's that good. But because of your passive, if your passive is up, you can 1v1 anybody. There are certain champions that will give you a run for your money, like Mundo Jungle, actually. Why would Mundo Jungle like be really good against Volibear?
He's tanky, and he has a slow that he can just throw out.
Yeah, like Gragas would be pretty
Quite a
good
lot.
too. Tanky people, they won't be able to kill you, but you won't be able to kill them because they can like slow you and then just run away. Because like if you're chasing a Mundo, he throws a cleaver in your face. Even if you're Q up, you're still slowed. But at the same time, like I don't think they can kill you unless they catch you like in your jungle, like super low health at a camp. Maybe Pantheon could kill you, maybe, but it's gonna be close. Like it's really tough. Yeah, I don't think anybody can 1v1 Volibear early. So, like, that's one of the reasons we're, like, play simple champions. Because if the question is, hey, I don't know when I can engage, well, in a 1v1 early game, just do it. You're a bear. Literally no one can stop you. Even if a tower's there, you can still probably win if you play smart. So it makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Yeah, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Now, if you're playing a Sejuani and you try to do this same shit, you don't have that passive. You're going to die. So that's why, like, if you're watching my stream, I'm playing super passive in this matchup. Because I've had games where I'm, like, 3-0 on Sejuani. It's like I'm level 5, Kindred's level 4, and she can outduel me. Just because I need time for my kit to scale. But Volibear, he shines early. He's like, hey, I'm a bear. You're not. Be ready to meet death. And because of his passive, because of how freaking tanky he is, you can just get away with a lot of stuff that other champions can't. Now we mentioned already, what's his weakness? You know, he's not immortal, right? His weakness is
kiting and
kiting. So if you're chasing the Kindred and she's dancing around in her stupid W thing, and she stalls you out until her teammates get there, and one of them has Ignite, so your passive doesn't heal for as much, yeah, you're probably going to die. But if they sit there and just let you auto-attack them and fight, if you just sit there exchanging blows, you're going to win. Because you just have too much health, too many stats behind your champion. Okay, so is that kind of helpful?
okay. Yes, it does.
Okay, so 1v1s, like Volley always wins early. And even like late game and stuff. Like let's say you're up against an Ahri. If you are both equally fed, meaning like, hey, I have 3 items, she has 3 items. We're the same level. Those are the 2 things I would look at for your judgment call question, by the way. You can probably 1v1 her. Now, at the same time, is Ahri just going to sit there and let you auto-attack her? No, she's going to kite you with her Q, which speeds her up. She's going to throw charms at you. As soon as you get close enough, she's going to ult away. So she's going to get a lot of free damage if you try to chase her. So, like that's the way you deal with Volibear. You just kind of kite him and let him run at you, and then if you catch them, you win. If they get away, they win. That's pretty much how it works. So think about that. Things to look for that help you in that situation. Let's say Ahri ulted 30 seconds ago. You know it's not going to be up, so she has pretty much 2 escapes. Her Q, which speeds her up, and her E, which is like a charm, which will make you waste a little bit of time. You can flash her charm and her Q, like she's not going to get away because you will probably have a lot of movement speed and will just catch up to her. Also flash, I guess, but... So just things to think about. Alright, so let's talk about like mid-game. 1v1, like if you get a 1v1 situation early game, just take it, because you will always win. Now, if your passive's down, maybe, maybe not. Kind of depends on the champion, depends on the situation. But if your passive is up, and it's just a straight 1v1, there's some dipshit like trying to counter jungle you or something, just murder them. You're a bear.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, what about 2v2s? So this is where judgments get iffy. Let's say we're ganking for somebody, and the Kindred's waiting in a bush. So who are we going to gank for? Mid or top?
Mid or top. What level are we?
Let's say we're level 5. Everybody's level 5.
Okay. How close to 6 are we?
That's good to think about. Let's say everybody just hit level 5. No one's going to hit 6 this team fight, unless it's the stupidest team fight ever.
Okay. Let's see, 2v2, Ahri or Tryndamere. Tryndamere has a good escape early. Does Tryndamere have flash?
Let's say he's running Ghost, because he has giant testicles.
Okay. Let's see, Maokai
Let's
and
just do.
Azir.
Let's do. Yeah, I mean, like, which one would you prefer to like do the judgment call thing on? Because I'll walk through the logic that I think about, so you can see what I do. And different people have different processes too, so my way isn't always the right way. But just pick the 2v2. We can do both if that's easy, if you're indecisive.
Well, I'm thinking up top, I might not get much because it's probably going to be a farm lane. It'll be more
Well, let's also.
likely.
Well, yeah, that's one thing to consider, but we're trying to figure out judgment. Okay,
Okay, just straight up.
yeah, let's say like the enemy team's bad. They're going to fight you if you just start a fight. Because they don't know this stuff either because they're silver just like you. So they haven't played
I'm
enough games.
overcomplicating this.
Yeah, you're overcomplicating it a little. So here, let's
Okay.
actually just go in and do it. Like, let's say top lane. Let's say you smited the Scuttle too, so we'll erase him. So you
Alright, so
so what's up? Walk me through it.
okay, Tryndamere and Zillion, not Zillion,
Maokai.
Tryndamere and Kindred against Maokai and Volibear.
So let's say this is the situation. Like, you're coming in for a tasty gank. Tryndamere's pushed up because he's shoving the wave because he's Tryndamere, and that's what he does. There's a ward here. You didn't know about it, and you're just sitting on it. So what Kindred does, because she's a smart player for some reason, or they're a smart player, they're such a weird champion, just sneaks in behind and then kind of waits for you here. Okay? So walk me through, like, should you do the 2v2 is the first question. How do you know?
I think we could do it.
Why?
I am, since it is early game,
Yep.
if I have my passive up, I'm tanky. I could take the damage. He's a tank, he could take the damage.
Yep. Is
We could
Tryndamere
probably-
and Kindred, are they squishy? Are they tanky? Like, tell me about them.
Yeah, they're squishy.
They're
We could
both
probably get a
squishy.
kill.
You can probably get a kill and maybe 2 kills too, just because the way your kits are set up, right? So how is this going to go down? Like, you don't know Kindred's here. She knows you're here. So Tryndamere's baiting right now. How is this engage going to start?
Okay, if he pushed up, I'm gonna waltz into lane behind him.
Mhm.
Maokai is gonna go in.
So he W's
stun or
in,
something.
and after the W, he Qs him, maybe throws a tree on top of him to slow him down. And as soon as
Okay.
Tryndamere sees the W, he's probably going to whirlwind away back towards Kindred, right? So it'll
Yeah.
probably be back here, and Maokai's W will just follow Tryndamere. So he'll be here, he'll Q in, Kindred will W and jump in probably, because you'll be here by that point. All right, so
I'm where? It's the gray screen again.
oh, it's
I
the
don't
gray
know why.
screen. Fantastic. Stop sharing.
I have been watching the Twitch to see it, but it's kind of behind a bit.
Yeah, so that's stupid. I don't know, turn Twitch off, I guess, because that'll do a bunch of things.
Alright.
Well, let's just keep doing this, because it seems like we get a good 5-10 minutes before gray screens, which isn't the worst. But I'm saying you run up here. What'll happen is Tryndamere's up here, right? Kindred's hiding in this bush because they're crafty. Maokai W's to Tryndamere. Mid-W, Tryndamere probably panic, like twirls away using his little whirlwind sword attack. So Maokai's here. Maokai's combo is after he W's in, he takes a step back, cues him this way because it bops him farther back, slows him, and then he throws a sapling on top. So he's going to
Okay.
be completely on cooldown for just a couple seconds. When that happens, I'm assuming you're going to be running in, so you'll be about here. And then as soon as they both go in, Kindred's going to jump in and start attacking. So who are they going to go on first, probably?
Probably Maokai, since he just blew everything.
Well,
Or maybe me if I'm closer. It's frozen on Skype.
it's frozen on
Restart.
Skype.
You brought it back up so I can see stuff now, but
It's frozen? So you can't see my mouse moving?
I can't see your mouse moving.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We're going to have to do this a different way. Because if you keep, like, if your computer's freezing up, I don't know how else we can do this. I'm trying to think if there are any other screen share things. I mean, we can use our imagination, but it's just so much easier if I can, like, whiteboard this out.
I definitely agree. I want this to work, but it brought up in a gray screen again. Maybe I should restart my Skype.
Yeah, just restart real quick. Here, call me back.
Alright, I will.
Okay. That's annoying. Alright, so this will be way more helpful if you can actually see it. So we're just waiting for him to restart Skype. That is the best technology solution ever. You just turn it off and turn it back on, and 99% of the time that solves all the things. But yeah, there's a reason I'm asking him this stuff too, and I'm hoping he can figure it out. But generally, if Maokai is on cooldown, he's not a threat for a few seconds, right? All right, let's see if this works. All right. One more time? One more again?
Yeah, let's try it.
All right. Can you see the things, and are they moving?
I can see the things. They are moving.
Yay!
Awesome. Okay, so
All right.
we are orange.
We are orange. So the question is, if the enemy team is good, Maokai's on cooldown, and you're right here, he's right here, who should the enemy team focus if they're good? If they're playing optimally?
I would focus on the Tryndamere. They're right between. He's right between them.
Who will the enemy team focus in this situation if they're good?
You're right. I misspoke. I saw the T and I was like, oh, Tryndamere. The Maokai.
Why? Hello? I think he mutarinoed us. This is not going well. Internet connection problem. There's a problem with the internet connection between you two. Hold on while we try to get the call back. Can you hear me? Hey, I can hear you, kind of. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Skype is saying there's an internet connection problem. It looks like everything's fine on my end. Are you doing okay still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So tell me all that again, because I did not hear any of that.
Okay. If I was them, I would go on Maokai. He blew all of his stuff. He's not gonna get away. They could get a kill first.
Okay. I disagree.
I keep saying that. I feel like it's wrong though because you keep pausing and saying nothing.
I think it's wrong. So let's say they get a kill on Maokai. First of all, does Maokai have any damage left if he's blown all of his abilities?
No.
None. So who's going to be doing all the damage in this fight while he's on cooldown?
So they want to get me out of the way while he can't do anything.
Yes. And then they want to finish him off afterwards. Because let's say he has all of his stuff up. Who has more damage between you two, Maokai or you? It's level 5.
Okay, that'd still be me, I think.
It would still be you. So if they're smart and they want to win a team fight, what do they want to do first? Do they want to kill all the damage, or do they want to kill the tank first?
Kill me. Kill the damage.
They want to kill the damage. So that is the first thing to think about. If they are good and they are actually rotating correctly, the focus should be on you. If it's not, what's going to happen is Maokai should be able to sustain through all that because he's tanky. His passive means every time he auto attacks, he heals, because in a team fight, everybody's going to be spamming abilities. So they're going to have a hard time taking him down. And meanwhile, while that's happening, you are a bear. You are running directly in here, and you're just going to start nomming on somebody, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. So same question, but to you. Who should Maokai and you focus in this situation?
Kindred.
Why?
Or Tryndamere.
And same exact thought process. Who has more damage?
I don't know Kindred very well. I never see her played.
So maybe this is a bad one. Do you know what her kit is?
Yeah, she has a circle with the ghost wolf that comes out.
Yep. And the ghost wolf attacks while she's in there, so it's a little extra damage. And then while she's in the circle, her Q, which hits 3 things, is on a lower cooldown. So normally it's on a 9-second cooldown. It lets her dash a little too. Inside her little ghost circle with wolf, it's on a 4-second cooldown, and as she levels it, it gets smaller. So she's level 5, so it's probably on a 3-second cooldown, let's say. And then her E is just, she throws the circles on top of you, and when she gets 3 of them, she does % health damage. So that's probably 1 point. So it'll do 60 damage and then 5% of your maximum health.
Okay.
And then her ultimate she doesn't have, but it just makes everybody standing in a circle invulnerable, and then at the end of 4 seconds, they heal. And they're invulnerable when they get down to 10% health. So you can reduce people down to 10% health, and then they just kind of stay there. So that's her kit. So what you have to deal with, though, is there's going to be a wolf circle. So there's going to be a wolf just attacking you or Maokai, whatever she focuses first. She's going to be auto-attacking. She's going to be using her Q, which hits 3 things. And then she's going to have her E, which she can only hit one person with, which will just be like, it'll slow them, and then after 3 autos, it'll do a little bit of burst damage. So it'll do like 60 and then 5% of your max health. So it'll do like 100 damage, let's say. That's your kit.
All right.
So knowing that that's her kit, what's Tryndamere's kit, just so we can be thorough, I guess.
Okay. He yells, calls you chicken. He spins.
What does the chicken do?
It slows you.
What else does it do?
Does it reduce attack speed?
It reduces a bunch of stuff. Here, I actually don't remember. I haven't played or been up against a Tryndamere in a while. But it does something different than attack speed, I know for sure. And here, I want the wiki, because it'll actually tell me what his ability does. But this is good to know. It's Mocking Shout. So you have a slow, no attack speed slow. It's just a movement speed slow. But this is interesting. A lot of people forget about this. Can you see my screen okay?
Nope.
Okay. Let me try it again. Again, this is going to be a freaking nightmare if this keeps happening. You may just need a better internet connection, because I'm wondering if like for me, my wife will be watching Netflix and sometimes my network will crap out.
Yeah, I need a better internet connection, hands down. I'm looking into a Ethernet cable.
Oh, nice. That'll be good. But I'll bear with you, man. I mean,
okay, thank you.
The AD reduction is what I'm looking about. He'll probably only have like 1 point in this, maybe. Sometimes Tryndamere's like level things differently, but he can reduce the damage you and Maokai do. So does Maokai care about this?
No, I care about it.
But you care about it because you're an AD champion. But here, let's do this just so I can see if he'll even have that. This is good for me too, because I haven't played against a Tryndamere in a while. So it looks like bad Tryndameres start spinning slash, good Tryndameres start Q, and then they get 1 point in W, the Mocking Shout. So you don't have to worry about that until level 8 being a thing. Okay, but so he will probably have 1 point in it.
Alright.
And then his other stuff, what does he do? I mean, we can just walk through it, but just tell me what he does.
He hits you with a sword and crits.
He hits you with a sword and crits, and then he spins around, right?
Yep.
And he can heal every once in a while, right?
Yep, with his Bloodlust Fury.
Yep, another thing to know is he does more damage the more health he is missing.
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that would be really bad... actually, you tell me, what would be a really bad thing that you and Maokai could do here? There's a bunch of things, but would it... Let's say you start attacking Kindred, he starts attacking Tryndamere. Why would that suck?
Because we're not going to burst down the target really quickly.
Yep, and you're just giving Tryndamere extra damage, right?
Yep.
So that's dumb. So don't do that. So the smart play here is to pick one of them and focus them down together. So my question to you again, knowing their kits, is which one is the bigger threat?
Kindred's the bigger threat.
I agree. Why is she the bigger threat?
She does more damage.
Yes. And what's one thing about Tryndamere that's different than Kindred? Can he hit 2 people or only 1 people?
Yeah, only one person.
Only 1 person. Can Kindred hit 2 people or only 1 people?
She can hit 2 people.
Yep.
Up to 3 people.
Yeah, she can hit 3 people, right? And if she's like rushing a hurricane and gets that item, she can definitely hit 3 people. She can technically hit 4 people, I guess, if you have Wolf auto-attacking 1, and then she's hitting 3 others with her auto-attacks and Q, but I mean, whatever, semantics. The point is she can hit more than 1, Tryndamere can only hit 1. So that's why I would think, okay, focus down the thing doing the most damage first. So when you run in here, what should your focus be? What should you be pinging to Maokai, telling him to do?
Kill the Kindred.
Kill the Kindred. So I would target her. I would, like, hit G and click her. You know, that's the hotkey for targeting stuff, right?
Yep.
So he's on cooldown. What are you going to do? Because you aren't on cooldown, I'm assuming.
Auto attack.
Auto attack, get your W up. You probably want to slow people. Does Tryndamere Is he pretty good at sticking to people, or does he get kited?
Tryndamere is good at sticking to people.
Why is he good at sticking to people?
He slows people, and he's got a gap closer.
He's got a gap closer. But remember, his gap closer's on cooldown, right? Because he used it to spin away. I don't know if you remember, because it was like 10 minutes ago. But his Q, it has a decent cooldown. Here, let's look at him. I got the wiki open. It's his E, actually. I'm sorry. 13 seconds before he can use it again. And it's reduced every time he critically strikes. But so one thing I would do is, just walk away from him. Maybe you run up here, and while he's chasing the Maokai, who's moving towards this Kindred, right? And she's probably kiting you guys backwards, because that's what Kindred does. Get your slow on him and Kindred if you can. Because he'll be chasing you guys. He'll probably mockingly shout as you guys are chasing down the Kindred. So what is your job then? So you're going to walk up here, you're going to slow both of them with your E, you're auto-attacking what you can.
My job is to make sure she doesn't get away safe under turret.
Yep. So how are you going to do that? Flip. And where are you going to flip her? You're going to flip her this way?
Behind me?
Behind you, yes. This way. Why?
Give her to the Maokai.
Give her to the Maokai. Because right around then, his Q is going to be back up. A few seconds later, his W is going to be back up. He might have a sapling to gift her. And you can do that. So that's perfect. And then by then, you would have auto-attacked 3 times. And you can get that beautiful little execute damage down. So that's what I would do. Now, if you don't do that, what's going to happen is, he's going to go on the Tryndamere because he's already committed. He's already blown his entire kit, right? You go on the Tryndamere. She's just auto-attacking both of you, hitting you with her Q, her W's up, and then whatever one's Tryndamere's smacking, she's probably going to drop her E on and then execute, right? And then Tryndamere will be nice and low. Remember, we just looked at his Q, and what it does right here, if you can still see the screen, Tryndamere permanently has bonus attack damage and gains additional bonus attack damage per 1% of his missing health. So if you get him nice and low right before you go to a 2v1 situation, you're just screwed. Because Kindred has % health damage, Tryndamere now has extra AD, he's going to call you chicken, stuff like that. Oh, Yoki, what's up? Thanks, man. We're just coaching our friend here. So we just got hosted by a bunch of people. That's awesome. I love Yoki. But does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So definitely collapse on the Kindred in this situation, and then you'll be able to turn on the Tryndamere afterwards. Another reason you don't want to be hitting the Tryndamere, remember he gets that extra bonus AD, right? So if you leave him healthy, he'll be wailing away on the tree or whatever because that's all he can touch. But, he won't have that extra damage. So kill the Kindred, she's out of the picture, then you turn on Tryndamere. And he'll probably get away just because it's a slippery champion and his Whirlwind will be back up. But still, if you just sit there and try to fight him first, I think you guys lose because Kindred has way more damage than him early.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. So in that situation, that 2v2, you guys can still pull it off just because they're squishy, but you have to be smart about it. Twinkie Nader, thank you for the follow! Join the Dancing Mystics! That's going to be annoying if everybody follows. Don't follow. I'm trying to coach right now. Guys. I'm a horrible streamer. You don't want to follow me. So, okay, does that kind of make sense? Let's do the same situation mid, because we talked about, top. Ah, damn you guys. Damn you. Fishy! Thank you for the follow. Okay, let's say we're doing the same thing now against our friend, the... Oh no, Anemone is now following, but the music didn't go off, so I won. But we got our Azir, right? Oh, it didn't. It went off anyway, but I delay. This is horrible. It's the worst thing ever. This is so rude. All right, now remember, we have an Azir mid. You're playing Volibear. They have a jungle. They have an Ahri. Everybody's level 5. We're gonna do the exact same situation. Let's say you are just standing on a ward, and your mid is bad and didn't tell you about it, right? Ahri is pushed up. She's trying to bait this. Kindred is just sitting here. She knows there's nothing there because they have a pink ward. So she's just waiting for you to engage, and they're going to set a trap. So you have an Azir, level 5, Ahri level 5, so you don't have to worry about her ult. Kindred level 5, same abilities we just talked about. Every Kindred is going to be maxing Q first, have 1 point in W, 1 point in E, and then you're Volibear, just doing bear things. So you're going to waddle in here. How is this going to go down? Walk me through it.
Waddle in there, go for the Ahri.
Yep.
Does Ahri use her spells?
Well, that's the thing. This is what I want to ask. So she knows you're here because there's a ward, right? So is she ever going to use her charm if she knows you're there?
No, she should save it, definitely.
She should save it. So if she's up this far and not using her charm to get on the Azir, what does that tell you?
She knows I'm there.
She knows you're there. So first of all, as a jungler, you're thinking, okay, this is weird. Most silver people are just spamming all their abilities trying to get kills because they think this game is Call of Duty. She's not. Huh. I wonder what, then the alarms start going off in your head, right? You start looking at the rest of the map. Is Tryndamere missing? Where's the bot lane? Where's the support? But at worst, you can expect, okay, maybe there's a 2v2 coming because she's not doing that. What can Azir do? Like, let's say you're on Skype with him and you're talking, right?
Okay.
So what can he do if she's not blowing abilities?
He could go in,
Yeah.
do some damage.
Yeah, force her to. Like, let's say he just jumps in on her. What can Azir do level 5? Like, what are his abilities? Walk me through.
Azir, he raises the soldiers. He can rush to his soldiers if he hits. Does knock up.
Yep.
Slow? They changed.
They changed it. Actually, let me check. Make sure I don't tell you the same thing. I know it slows, but I don't think the knockup is there anymore. So when he tells the soldiers to dash forward, it slows, and then his E lets him dash to one. Yeah, he gets a shield. He doesn't get the knockup anymore, it looks like.
Okay.
So the slow is from the Q. He used to get the knockup on Shifting Sands. He doesn't get that anymore because Riot thought it was too broken, and it kind of was. So he'll have a slow, so he can set her up and slow her down. Remember, she doesn't have her ult yet because she's still level 5, right?
Okay.
Oh no, they unfollowed, but that's fine. That's still funny. Mortar, what are you doing, man? I want to read all that. Don't time him out. Mortar's just a jerk. Maybe I should unmod him just to put him in line. Okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted by Twitch drama. Damn you, Yoki, and your beautiful, beautiful followers. But okay, so he can just jump in there. If she's not using her abilities, by all means, let him get some free damage, right? And then what's she probably going to do when he jumps on her?
Is she smart? Is she just going to back off towards the Kindred, or is she going to panic and use her abilities?
Panic and use her abilities is best case scenario, right? Because her E's off. Flip, nom, dead. Yep. But if she doesn't use that and she just walks towards Kindred, well, she's chunked down, and then, if anything, you had a successful gank because Azir didn't take damage and Ahri did, and now you have pressure. And because she's not using her E for some reason, something's goofy, so you're just going to go and maybe solo Dragon. I don't know. But
Can I solo Dragon?
Oh, and you can. Some dragons are tougher. Like, I think the Earth Dragon just wrecks you. But if you're level 5 and your passive is up and you have double buff, you can solo most dragons. The Water Dragon you can do. The Sky Dragon you can do. I want to say the Infernal Dragon you can do, but it's going to be really, really close. And it depends on your build and stuff, too. But I think every dragon except the Infernal Dragon you can solo... not the Infernal, the Earth Dragon. The big, beefy one that helps you take objectives. You can solo level 5. And when you hit level 6, you can definitely do it, because if you use your ult, you just have so much damage, it goes down too fast.
Okay. That's like Shyvana, who can solo it at like 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's a little tricky, and it depends on the dragon. Like, Shyvana still has trouble, again, depending on your runes and masteries, but soloing, like, the Earth Dragon. Like, you probably need someone to, like, hit it a few times. But you can do it. And there are ways to do it. Like, it's going to take more than 15 seconds, so if you have 2 smites, you smite at the beginning, then you smite at the end. So
yeah.
Other ways to optimize it. But okay, so this situation here, let's say instead of her running away and being smart, a fight just breaks out. Like it's in the middle of the map. There aren't any wards. So Kindred's here, you're here, they're both looking for a gank. And then Azir just starts poking Ahri down. She throws her charm, throws all her kit on him, and just kind of all-ins him when he all-ins her, and then both junglers run in. So let's say both your mid laners are kind of on cooldown. So tell me about what's going to happen next.
Kindred's gonna come in, start doing damage.
Who's she gonna hit? You're running, she's running, so she knows you're on the way, but who's she gonna focus?
Azir.
Why?
He's closer and he's low and has no cooldowns.
Yes, now remember Azir, he doesn't have cooldowns, but he still has damage, right? Why does he still have damage?
Because of soldiers.
His soldiers are out. So if he's smart, where's he gonna move?
Away.
Which towards the tower? Towards you?
Towards me.
Towards there? Why towards you?
Because I'm a frontline.
Because you're the front line, and also, well, what is right here, standing here, like yelling Shurima or whatever?
The soldiers.
Is soldiers. So if he runs towards tower, what happens?
He goes away from the soldiers.
Yeah, he goes away from his soldiers. He can't use them. If he runs towards you, he can just stand here, right? And then he can keep auto-attacking with his soldiers. So if he's smart, he'll run towards you. Now, it's silver, so like he might just panic and run back towards his tower, but that's fine, too. All right, so Kindred's probably going to go on him. Why else is she going to go on him versus you? I think you said it already. I'm just asking again so we can get back on.
He's low, trying to get it out of the way.
He's low, but he does the damage. He does more damage than you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally his job to do the damages. And Twinkinator wants me to say some words for LAN players watching me. Tater tot, bologna sandwich, One Punch Man. Thank you. All right, let's get back to this.
I don't understand.
He asked me to say words, so those are the first three that came to mind.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. New followers have to entertain.
No, you're good. I just got confuzzled.
That was the master plan. All right, so if they're good, they're going on Azir because he has all the damage. So what is your job in this team fight, really?
Protect Azir.
Protect Azir. Okay, so you're walking forward. He's smart. He's walking here. We got the Shurima squad in here, like doing the auto attack and doing their calisthenic routine. Who are you going to focus down in this situation?
Probably Kindred, because Ahri blew her stuff.
Ahri
Kindred
blew her
does
stuff.
Damage.
Kindred does damage to multiple people. I agree with you. I think so. Now, let's say Ahri's at like 100 health.
You bite her and you keep going.
You bite her and keep going. Just kill her if she's free. But if she's at like half health, maybe she's out of mana, she's on cooldown for 10 seconds or whatever, you probably, and this is a fight that's going to happen, like they're not backing down, you probably want the Kindred first in this situation, just because she has the damages. Because when Ahri's on cooldown, she's just going to auto-attack you to death, and that'll just tickle a little, because you're a giant tanky bear. So I agree with that. So what should your focus be? Like, Kindred's just going to keep chasing. Probably focus on the Azir, because remember, he's the damage, right?
Yeah.
So what is she going to do? She's running through soldiers right now. Ahri's probably running back, waiting for cooldowns to be up, auto-attacking what she can. What is Kindred going to try to do, and how can you stop it? That's what I want you to walk me through.
Get out of the soldiers, do damage to Azir, so slower when she's in the soldiers, flip her back into the soldiers.
That's what I wanted. Okay, so she's here. You slow. You start auto-attacking her. She dashes towards Azir, not the soldier. So then you immediately Q and throw her back into the soldiers. And then Azir is hopefully positioning right here, kind of behind you. Just like, Shurima, the order is given. Ha ha ha. Just doing that shit over and over again.
And we win.
And you win. And then hopefully you can just burst down the Kindred, because she just jumped towards him. You threw her back into the soldiers, into the damage mosh pit. And then, you bite down on her whenever your W is back up, and then you just win. And then Ahri probably gets away, but, she's chunked down. There's a very scary bear right there. Then Azir's just, doing the things. And if she goes back in, she's going to have to focus him, so your job is to just block the charm and then just auto-attack her and let him do the damages again. So does that kind of make sense?
Yes, perfect sense.
So going back to your first question, what we're even talking about, when to engage, when not to engage, how do I actually, win these fights? Well, if you're playing Volibear, you always have a pretty big advantage, because just statistically, he's really good early right now with that passive. It's really hard to kill him because he just has too much health. So really what you're trying to do, because you can outlive anybody, is you're trying to keep your damage alive long enough to out DPS their damage, and DPS damage per second, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the decision is, okay, can I kill their damage faster than they can kill mine? So that's what your brain needs to be thinking when these goofy engages pop up across the map. So this situation, I think it makes sense, just because the way Azir plays, he can jump in and just kind of sit back and poke people down, and Ahri has to wait a couple seconds for her cooldowns to come back up. So you can definitely out-damage them, and Volibear actually has a little bit of damage too. Not as much as a Kindred, but he has a little bit. So it should be fine. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Do you want to work towards an actual 5v5 team fight and explain when you should go in and when you shouldn't? We picked this team comp for a reason too, right?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so first of all, are they ever going to want a 5v5?
No.
No, why not?
They're a kite team. They
Yep.
want to kite us, let Tryndamere split push.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
So this guy, and I'm just writing this so it's on the video, so you don't have to take notes. Split push for days and days. Why does he want to split push?
Get objectives.
Well, to get objectives, win the game. Yeah. But I mean, like, can anyone really 1v1 Tryndamere on this team? Like, will Maokai be able to, like, hold his own against him?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, maybe. Depends how Maokai builds. But, I mean, Tryndamere, like, if he gets low, he's just going to spin to win away. Go auto-attack your Krugs, go steal your jungle or whatever, and he'll heal back up of his rage, probably. And then he'll just come back and just do it again. So what that does is it keeps your Maokai busy, and then you guys are chasing around this nightmare team that's just going to be kiting for days. So he's just going to do that. Maybe Maokai is up here, stopping the split push, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Everyone else is down here. I'll just go take mid. Maokai comes here, he just runs back up, comes here. He can just play that dancing game all day if he's smart. So let's say that this is what's going on down here. But that's what Tryndamere wants to do. He just wants to sit there and auto-attack towers, and if he can wait for the Maokai to run out of mana, then maybe he can just blow him up, delete him, and then, oh, cool, I can just right-click the Nexus while you're busy chasing an Ashe around. So let's talk about this team fight down here. And I'll throw the note off to the side so you can see. I'm just trying to make it so it's not blocking things. Here, actually, let's block all the things. We'll do that.
So it's 4v4. Maokai doesn't have TP, so he's just out of the way.
Well, that's something I want to ask you. Does he have TP? And let's say this is in the river, just because I can't get it to zoom in properly. Here.
Dragon fight.
Yeah, it's a dragon fight, exactly. So it's probably going to be like this. Okay. I think you can see their team and stuff. So what are you guys going to try to do here? Remember, Tryndamere is just split pushing. He's just dancing the Maokai back and forth. Does Maokai have teleport, first of all? Up to you.
That would change what I do. Let's say no.
Well, let's say yes, first of all, because you said it would change
yes.
what he can do. Why does it change what you would do?
Well, Maokai, he's a sponge. If he TP's in, he can probably lock down someone for a little bit, and since I can flip, Thresh can pull, we can blow up one of their squishies pretty easily.
What does he need to teleport in?
He needs a ward.
He needs a ward. Do you have any wards?
Yeah.
Where?
My support's good. She'll have one in the bush. There'll probably be one in Dragon Pit, be one in Try, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you think like this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So if you guys were going to engage on these guys and catch, where would Maokai teleport to, probably? You're the blue
Dragon
team.
Pit.
In the Dragon Pit? So he's going to teleport, like, right here? When they're
Wait,
here?
I thought it was orange team. I'm blue team?
You're orange team. You're right. I'm sorry. Let me move everything around. I was thinking you were the orange team. Or you were the blue team. Let's say you're blue team, just because I'm dumb and mixing things
okay.
up.
Okay, I'm blue team. Then right in the middle of them.
Right in the middle of them? Maybe.
Or maybe off to the side in the Tri bush so we have time to catch up.
Well, they're orange team, you're blue team. So blue team is over here. So their escape would probably be this way if they're orange.
Okay, so that he'd go in there to cut off the escape.
Yeah, so probably this one, right?
Yeah. Harder time for them to kite away.
Yeah, because if you guys are going to run on him, like you're a scary bear, you're going to run here. Azir is just trying to set up his soldiers. Thresh is up here looking for a hook. And then you have Sivir, at any time she can pull the trigger and just run on them, right? As soon as you run, Zillion's going to throw his bombs down. The enemy mid laner is going to throw out some charms and some Qs. Kindred is just going to wait for the fight to happen and kind of Q away. And then Ashe will throw out her W to slow. So they're just going to do that until you get low enough that Ashe can shoot an arrow and blow someone important up, like the Azir. So if Maokai goes back here, how's that fight going to break down? Let's say he teleports in. You're the blue team, remember. Tryndamere's like farming Krugs or something because he's bad.
Maokai TP's in, he comes in, they see him. Do they panic?
Well,
if they panic,
you win. So
yeah.
So already, good job. You set up a proper play just by putting those wards down. You're done. You win. But let's say they don't panic. Let's say that they're actually decent players. What are they going to do?
CC the Maokai and escape.
Yeah, so in this situation, when you have 4 people here, 1 person here, this is a pincher maneuver, right? You're trying to collapse on people from both sides. Which side is the weaker side?
The Maokai.
The male guy. So if they're smart, what do they immediately do when they see this shit coming?
They CC him and get away.
They CC him and get away, or they just kill him.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I was thinking it's Maokai, so they'd have a little bit of difficulty killing them, yeah?
Right, but remember, Kindred, at this point, we're team fighting, so I'm assuming she's not like level 5 anymore. She probably has 4 or 5 stacks just from farming scuttle crabs, because RNG is broken. So she has % health damage on her auto attacks and her E. You have an Ari, right, who probably has some items. You have an Ashe who has some damage. Zillion is actually a goofy support. He has damage. So...
Zillion mid.
Yeah, I mean, Zillion can be played mid, right? So they can blow him up. So if they're smart, he's going to jump. Now, if he's smart, he's going to click R, which reduces damage. He's going to stun one of them with his W before he gets stunned. And then what should you guys be doing as soon as you see Maokai running in?
We run in.
Yeah, how are you going to run in? Walk me through the abilities.
Sivir goes.
When you say Sivir goes, what does she go? Does she just run straight? Does she flash forward and heal and run in, or what is she doing specifically?
She doesn't suicide dive. She
Okay,
presses
good.
R.
She presses R. Okay, so what does that do for everyone else on your squad?
Speeds us up.
Speeds us up. Okay, and what are you gonna do? Because you're Volibear and you're a big scary bear.
Gonna run in and do bear things.
You're run and do bear things. I would just use your Q because it'll work with the Sivir speed up and give you a bunch of movement speed. What you want to do is, if they're smart, they're going to collapse on this Maokai who's running in to flank them, right? So you guys want to run in and pretty much minimize the time he's alone. Because if you get there right when they're all on cooldown, like let's say Ashe uses her W, she starts auto-attacking him with her Q, Zillion just threw 2 bombs and slowed him down, you know, Ari is on cooldown again, same thing, Kindred's just auto-attacking and jumping around, so there's probably like a W here. If you guys run right when they're on cooldown, I mean, what's going to happen? Even if Maokai dies.
Yeah, if we close the distance, we win the fight. They blew their stuff.
Yes. Now, if they kill him and get away and keep running, they win the fight. So it's kind of a race. So immediately when you see him running in, I would be like just spamming pings and running towards them.
Okay.
Now, one thing that's nice about this, the way they're set up, like here, let's actually look at the way the lines are set up. So jungle and support, you guys are probably the front line. Azir's somewhere in the middle. Sivir's in the back, just throwing boomerangs and things. She can actually be in the front, too, because she has that spell shield, if she's good. You know, if she's not lagging at, like, 300 ping or whatever. Because if Ashe throws an arrow, she can spell shield and save one of you guys from a stun. So maybe she's in the front line, too, but, you know, probably back. So they're probably doing something similar, right? But they don't really have a front line. So who for them is going to be in front?
Let's see. Zillion would probably want to be in front so he could get his stun off.
Yep, he's going to be throwing bombs, because if you walk over the bomb, that gets on you, right? And it follows you around. It makes it easier for him to land the stun. He needs to peel you. He probably needs to peel Thresh, too, right?
Yeah.
So this is a really good situation. All right, see you later, man. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the follow, too, Twinkie Yeah, have a nice night as well. Okay, sorry, back to coaching. So he's probably going to be up here. Is Kindred going to be in the front line?
Kindred's waiting for the fight to happen.
She's waiting for the fight to happen. If she gets Thresh hooked, I mean, you guys might be able to just burst her down before she can even ult. So it doesn't make sense for her to be. What about Ashe?
Ashe will be backliner in the middle.
Probably in the middle, throwing W's out and stuff, right? Just poking. What about Ari?
I would think that she'd be backline, middle, up towards the front a little bit. So she
well,
can get her stuff off and she has an escape. So.
Remember, this comp, it doesn't have a tank, right? So there's no front line, really. So the mid line is the front line. I think she would be the front line here. And the reason being, she has her charm that she can throw out. She has her Q that she can poke with. And if you guys do actually start running, she has her ult to get away. So she's probably the safest one. Another reason Zillion's a kind of a good pick for this is he can speed himself up. So if you guys start running, he can speed up and just get out of there. So you can't kill him the Zillion, right? So
yeah.
If they're playing right, this is probably the formation. Then Ashe will just be in the back because she doesn't have any escape. She's completely reliant on her team to peel for her W, and maybe throwing an arrow in your face with her ult if you get too close. And then, like we said, Kindred's probably in the back. Maybe she's poking with her W, but she can't get too close because Thresh will get a nice hook or a flash flay or something like that. And you guys will eat her alive. So this is actually a really good position to be in. If they're here trying to contest this dragon, this is kind of dumb for them because you guys just have a stronger team fight since they don't have a tank line. So Maokai runs down here. Who is he going to go on probably?
Ashe or Kindred.
Yeah, which one do you think he should go on?
I would like to burst down to Kindred before she could use her ult. But Ashe would do more sustained damage, I would think.
So remember, it's kind of a race to get to him, right? Between Ashe and Kindred, which one is going to do more damage to Maokai and why?
Kindred's going to do more damage to Maokai, percent health.
And why? Percent health, exactly. So if his job is to just get there, stay alive, and stall so you guys can catch up, which one should he go on?
Kindred.
Probably the Kindred, right? Now, maybe he's nice and fed. He has like a Randuin's, he has a Sunfire Cape, he has Thornmail. Maybe it doesn't matter. You know, he can go on either one and he's not going to die. But let's say it's like an even game. And he only has like 1.5 items. You know, everybody has, you know, about the same power levels and stuff. He probably wants to go on the Kindred just so he can stay alive long enough for you guys to get there. I could also see an argument for going on Ashe, though. Because what happens if he doesn't go on Ashe? What can she do?
She CCs. She slows, stuns.
She has an arrow and she has a slow from her W, right? So she can throw her W into you guys and kind of like rain on your parade, slow you down. Kindred can't really do that. So I think it kind of depends. I don't know. Maybe he goes on the Ashe so you guys can get there. But if like he runs in, Ashe blows her W, like as he runs in, Ashe throws an arrow in his face, you know, then I think he goes on the Kindred. If she doesn't, you can make an argument for I go on the Ashe if I think I can survive the Kindred. I go on the Kindred if I know I can't. And that's not your call either, because he's just going to jump in anyway. So you're just like, oh, there goes the Maokai. We better jump in, do bear things. So what's nice is you don't even have to worry about that. But I know you play top, so that's why I'm kind of walking through this thought process.
Maokai is actually the next champion I'm planning to get.
Nice. He's really good right now, so that's a good one to pick up. But so the thought process here is my only job is to get on these guys and hold them in place so my team can collapse and just eat them alive. So the call here is, can I survive the Ashe or the Kindred longer? And if I can survive both of them, okay, which one do I CC to let my team catch up? So if he can survive all that damage that's going to be like dropped on his face, he probably wants to get the Ashe. If he can't, he probably wants to get the Kindred just so he can survive longer.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of that is so team can come in and jump down, and then while you guys are taking towers and dragons, he's recalling to go deal with the split pushing Tryndamere that we forgot about, who's probably going to take a tower of his own. So that's kind of how it works. But let's say he doesn't have teleport, because that's what we talked about, right?
Yeah.
So in the situation where he does, I think you do want to set this up so the tools you need are wards behind them, or you need a minion wave pushed up, or you need Thresh to throw his lantern in a weird place so Maokai can teleport to that, because that's a thing you can do. Also works with like Jarvan the Fourth Flag. If you have a Jhin on your team, it works with his traps. So anything targetable you can do. I think Zyra plants it works too. But he needs someone to teleport to. But let's say, you know, he's out of the picture. And the same thing is happening. And he's just dealing with the Tryndamere. So they're just dancing up here. Nobody's really doing anything. It's stalemated.
Okay.
So what do you guys want to do instead? Can you even close the distance on this team?
Be very difficult.
Be very difficult. It'd be risky too. What are you looking to do with your team comp against their team comp?
I would say wait for a Thresh hook.
Wait for a Thresh hook. I agree, actually. Now, let's say they're just not going to get close enough to go in for a Thresh hook. What can you do instead? Like, let's say Thresh is here. Every time they walk up, they just back away. Ahri throws her Q out. You know, Zilean throws bombs out, spams Laugh, spams his Mastery. They're trying to bait you into running and getting out of position. What do you guys do? Do you just keep chasing them?
No. That'll get us kited, and that's what they do best.
Yeah, so what should you do instead?
I don't know.
I would just start Dragon. Make them run into a Thresh hook.
Okay.
If Dragon's down, I would just take mid tower. Make them come to you. You don't chase the Singe, right? You make him chase you. So it's same kind of thing with a kiting comp. If they're kiting you around, you don't want to like let them just do that forever because that's what they want, right? So what you want to do instead is make them come to you. How do you make them come to you? You go attack something they want, or something they don't want you to have. So just start doing the dragon. What that'll do is it'll force Kindred. Kindred's like, oh, I can't let him get the dragon. My team will rage at me. Maybe she splits up. tries for a steal. Zillion comes in, tries to get vision in the pit. Ari's coming up, trying to, charm the Thresh and get a pick while you're doing the dragon. Right? So while that's happening, they actually come up. It gets a lot easier for Thresh to land a hook. It gets a lot easier for Azir to poke down with his Shurima army. You have Sivir, right? Maybe she pulls the trigger and you guys just flash over the wall and run on him with her ult. But it gives you more options when they run to you versus them running away.
Okay.
So in that situation, don't chase them. Don't chase the Singe. Don't chase the Kite team. Never chase an Echo. You're not going to catch him. So don't. Just go take a thing. Make them come to you.
A lot of the times when I lose team fights or something, I usually ping that I'm going in, etc. And then I go in and I get blown up. And then they don't have a tank.
So let's say, like in this team comp, let's say you do that. Remember we said here's probably where the lines are going to be. Ashe and Kindred in the back. You got a Zillion up here just taunting you with all his abilities, and you have an Ahri throwing out spells.
Okay.
So if you just ran in, what's going to happen to you?
I go boom.
Well, tell me how you're going to go boom. Walk me through it.
Okay, Zillion's gonna throw his stuff on me. I'm gonna get stunned.
Only if you let it hit you, but if he's good, he'll hit you. Because what'll happen is he'll slow you, bomb, and while you're stunned, what's Ahri gonna do?
They're gonna chain their CC, so I can't do much.
They're gonna chain your CC, so you can't do much. Now, while that's happening, is your team just derping around, picking their nose? Sometimes, and if that's the case, maybe you deserve to lose that game because your team sucks. But let's say that they don't suck. Let's say they're normal, decent players. So
okay.
Ahri just blew all of her spells on you. Zillion just blew all his spells on you. What should your team do? And remember, you're a tank, so your job is to literally soak up spells. So right now you're doing your job. That's fine.
They should jump on the squishies.
How are they going to jump on the squishies, which is all of them?
Azir is going to go in. Sivir should ult.
Sivir should ult. Probably ult when you jump in, right? You ping, I'm going to go in there. Sivir ults, you all run, right? So you're getting CC'd right now. These two are on cooldown. Ashe is probably throwing W's and trying to DPS you. Kindred might be trying to DPS. What's everyone else doing? So Sivir ults in, and then where's she going to stand? In front of you, or is she just going to run in?
No, she's going to be behind me.
She's going to be right here, right-clicking whoever's closest, right? Throwing her W into the team fight, throwing her Q out, her boomerang. So she's going to be right-clicking things. Now, are they squishy, or are they nice and tanky?
Squishy.
They're squishy, right? So that's a good thing. What about Thresh? What is he going to be doing?
He's going to be trying to peel for Sivir and Azir.
He's going to be peeling, yeah, but there's nothing to peel right now. So, because these guys are on cooldown, they use all their spells on you. They're focusing you down, right?
Then he's going to try to lock down or pull someone out so they're easier to kill.
Yes, he's going to try to hook somebody. He can also do some fancy stuff. Like, let's say Kindred's over here. Ahri is running this way, and he hooks the Kindred. What can Thresh do with his kit? That'll just be a nightmare for this enemy team.
He can jump in an ult.
He can jump in an ult, sure. What else can he do? Let's say he lands the hook. He has 2 seconds to do something that I'm thinking about very specific.
He throws the lantern.
Throws a lantern. Who does he throw it to?
Me?
Well, he could throw it to you, but you're CC'd and you're already in there. Azir. Why would he throw it to Azir?
Azir has wall.
He has wall. So Thresh lands a hook, throws his lantern back here to Azir. And remember, this is solo queue, so I don't know if this is actually going to be a thing that happens. And then Thresh jumps into the Kindred right here. Azir clicks the lantern, comes with. What does Azir do right when he jumps in there? Because now Thresh is going to ult, so he has the box, which will be like boom, 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 That's not a box, but Riftkit is just doing things. And then he's going to flay the Kindred so she can't ult immediately. What is Azir going to do?
Azir is going to wall people away?
Probably this way, right?
Yeah. Get them into a wall.
So now they're just stuck here, and that CCs them, right? And they're all clumped up together, and you're still like alive because you're Volibear. You're just a giant freaking bear. Your passive's generating, and they're all CC'd. What is Sivir doing right now?
Right-clicking.
Right-clicking. She's murdering all of them. They're all grouped up, so her W ricochet is hitting all of them. Azir, what else is he going to do after he ults them all in here?
Throw his soldiers in there.
Throw his soldiers in here. And then Thresh is just going to be, walking in there auto-attacking because he's on cooldown and kind of worthless right now. So, I mean, it's a pretty damn good fight if you run in there and you actually make that happen. So, enemy team, let's back it up. Let's erase all this. Did you kind of follow that thought process?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that you know all the abilities and you figured out like what should happen, kind of. But an enemy team, like if they're smart, they're not going to let that happen, right? So they see all this happening. You run in there. They blow all their stuff on you. Sivir runs in. Thresh is running in. Azir's running in. What's Ashe going to do?
Ashe is going to ult someone.
Ult
W.
someone. Who should she ult? But what if she ults Sivir? What's Sivir going to do if she's not a complete garbage player?
Spell shield.
Spell shield. So that's dumb. Is Ashe going to aim for Sivir if she's not a complete garbage player?
No.
No. Now, if Sivir just used her spell shield, maybe, because it's like a 20-second cooldown. But let's say, like, it's up. So where's Ashe probably going to aim her arrow if she's, like, right here?
Right there?
Yeah.
Me?
Either you to focus you down. That would be if she's, like, kind of bad. If she's really good, like diamond level, she probably wants to stop that little Thresh maneuver we mentioned.
Or Thresh, yeah.
Yeah, so I would actually aim on the Thresh, but again, it's in the heat of battle. She has 2 seconds to think through all this. Unlikely that she'll do that.
2 seconds? That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, yeah, but I mean, if you have a giant bear running at you, it's a little different. But she's probably thrown her arrow somewhere in like this range, right? So she can hit either the Azir or the Thresh. And the reason being, you're already CC'd. She's not going to be able to get Sivir because Sivir's behind a giant bear, and she also has a spell shield. And she sees Thresh running here. She probably Azir is closer up to you because he doesn't know that Thresh is going to throw his lantern back because it's solo queue. So this is what I think will happen. And then she'll throw her W just kind of in that same arc just to slow down everybody approaching, right? All right, what about Kindred? What is Kindred doing in all this? Is she just sitting in the bush picking her nose?
She's thrown up her circle.
Yep, so she's probably right here.
Started hitting multiple people.
She's probably hitting you, actually, since that's where the focus is. So let me erase the Ashe stuff. So here's Kindred's circle, I'm assuming. She's probably focusing you down because you're already low. And then while that's happening, Thresh and Azir are running in, and Ashe is throwing an arrow into one of them. So Kindred probably just jumping around, spreading her damage between these three, and then Sivir, meanwhile, is behind you, just hitting everybody with ricochets and throwing Qs and stuff. So what can Kindred do?
Kindred can ult if things get dicey.
So what happens if she ults? What on your team can deal with that ult? And what do I mean by deal with that ult?
Thresh can drag people out. I can flip people out.
Thresh can drag people out. You can flip people out. What about Azir? We already talked about him, but does he have an ability that is really, really good if you can force Kindred to ult?
You mean like his wall?
Mm-hmm. Let's say they're all like hanging out in Kindred ult because they're all low because they're all squishy and you guys got a pretty good engage. What can Azir do?
Push them all out.
Push them all out. Then Sivir throws one auto attack. It ricochets between all of them. Crits every time because, of course, RNG will be in your favor. And then they all die. So be looking for that, too. I still think this is a wand fight, though, if you set it up this way. But it's smart for you to run in here. Just because they're squishy in this situation. They don't want to fight. So if you can actually catch them, blow their abilities, you could probably just overpower them because your kits are just better.
Okay, so what do they do to win the fight?
What they do to win the fight is they keep kiting you around kind of indefinitely. Like you run in here, Ahri lands a charm, zillion stuns, and then they just keep running away. Like they don't get caught. Thresh is trying to follow up, he misses a hook. Ashe keeps like Wing, and eventually what'll happen is you guys will get low. You'll get poked down, right? And then when that happens, maybe Azir gets bored and like tries to do some flashy Shurima play around. Ashe throws an arrow in his face, they kill him. Like let's say Azir gets picked, and they do have a lot of damage. So they can pick someone off and just kill them. So Azir or Sivir are gone. Let's do that same fight. Do you win?
Without Azir?
Without Azir.
No.
No. Okay, what if Azir stays alive and Sivir is the one that gets picked? She used her spell shield on one ability, immediately gets Ashe arrow to the face, immediately gets blown up.
No.
No,
That's
probably
a lot
not.
of her damage.
That's a lot of your damage, right? So they win if you let one of these two guys die. What if Thresh dies?
It's not as bad
not
as
as
the other
bad.
two.
Right. But it's still harder. Like, I don't know if I would pick a fight then. Because remember, like, another thing. Like, Zillion's up here, right? And we're like, oh, he's on cooldown. But what's one thing Zillion can also do?
He's got his ult.
He's got his ult. So this is really like a 5v4 almost. Because between his ult and Kindred ult, it's going to be really hard to take everybody down. So Like, let's say you have to force out Zillion ult. Maybe Ari gets low and he ults her. And then you kill her, his ult is proccing. You have to kill the other 3 squishies real quick before Ari comes back up with all her cooldowns, right?
Yeah.
So they win kind of by making you guys screw up and having one of your carries get picked off.
So what we need to do is, if they start backing up, we just need to disengage and make them come to us.
You need to make sure that you are always between them and your damage dealers, because you're the tank, right? You're the giant bear with armor on. So if it ever gets into a situation where they're running away and kiting you, and you like back off, but Sivir keeps going, that's what they want. That's what they're looking for. So as soon as you back off and Sivir crosses and becomes the front line, that's when the Ahri's going to ult in and charm. That's when Zillion's going to get a double bomb. That's when Ashe is going to throw her arrow. That's when Kindred's going to jump in and hit every button on her keyboard. So that's what they're looking for. Same thing if Azir gets impatient and jumps in and tries to make the LCS big plays.
So what can I do to prevent that?
Keep this line. So like Thresh, maybe he's back here. But you always want to have a line between the enemy team and your carries. And your job is to stay here. And what sucks is if you are getting poked down by stuff while they're kiting away, you're just gonna start to get low. So you want to stay just far enough away where you're between these 2 guys and not getting just obliterated by the enemy team. So it's a subtle dance. Yeah, ask questions. I'm sorry, that might have been a lot to take in right now.
No, I've got it. Well, I'm just thinking. They want that dance though, since their team is for kiting.
Yes.
We need to get out of there.
So, what are the 2 things you can do to force that dance to end?
I can all in that shit, go in.
You can hard engage. That's one option. What else can you do?
Back off.
Back off and do what? What would they do if you went and just started pushing mid?
Yeah. That's what I said earlier. We need to disengage and go for an objective.
Yeah. Like if you did that, what are they going to do?
They're going to chase us.
Maybe. Or maybe they base race you. Do you have more damage than them on towers?
Yeah, we have Azir and Sivir.
You have Azir, you have Sivir, you have you who actually does damage. You know, they have 2 AD carries, but Ashe, she's not like a Tristana. She's not going to take towers down super fast. And Kindred, she still needs her abilities to do damage. So yeah, it'll be close, but you guys probably win this just because this lane is shorter than bot lane. So you'll have more minions coming in. You'll be able to push this down. Another thing you can do if you don't want to go that far is just do Dragon. Because if you do Dragon and they go on this tower, where are they gonna go if you just engage on them through here? They're just kind of screwed, right?
Yeah.
You've caught them. Rock hard place. So that's one thing you can do. You can hard engage on them and just force all their shit to come out, or you can just go and take a tower, take an objective somewhere else. And remember, top you have the great split push battle between Maokai and Tryndamere, so you're just kind of ignoring them. And let's say Tryndamere has Ignite too, so you don't even have to worry about a teleport. All right, so which one is better, and why?
If Maokai has TP.
Well, if Maokai has TP, yeah, just have him jump in and force the 5v4. But let's say that it's just a 4v4. Maokai does not have TP. Do you force the fight? I mean, here are your 3 options. You can just dance forever, which is what they want, and one of your teammates will DC or something, and then get picked off, and you'll lose the fight. Or you can force a dragon, or you can force a tower. Oh, I guess that's 2. You can force an objective, or you can force an all-in and just force a team fight by jumping in. Maybe you flash Q somebody. I don't know. But which of those 3 options? Take an objective, dance forever, or force a fight are better, and why?
Doing an objective, I think, would be safer, ultimately better.
Why? Why is it safer? Why is it better? That's what I'm asking. I agree with you. I think that's the right call. Did I lose you? Looks like the call dropped. No! Internet connection problems. Are you back?
I'm back, yes.
Can you see the screen share?
It's not up.
All right, let me screen share again. Yeah, internet connection problems. Sad day. So I agree with you, but why is doing the objective better? It is safer, but why is that better?
It's less likely that we'll screw up and all die.
Yes. League of Legends is about minimizing the chance that your team will make a mistake. Because it is such a complicated game. If you do that and wait for the enemy to make a mistake, they will make a mistake. Well, what we say was like the only way they win a team fight in this scenario.
They kite, or they get rid of one of our damages.
They get rid of one of your damages. How did they get rid of one of your damages?
Someone's stupid.
Someone's stupid, so someone makes a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Because like they can't really force anything. I guess if Ashe lands an arrow, they can all pile on and do a catch comp there. But if she lands an arrow on you and then everybody piles on, your team kind of wants that. Because they're chasing you. They've used their big engage things on the tank, and then Azir and Sivir will just clean up. So, I mean, really, you kind of want that. So if you just back off and do a tower, and they have to chase you like through the jungle and stuff, like that's ideal. They're coming to you, and they're all squishy, right?
So, my concern, though, is that my team will want to fight and won't think about getting objectives. How can I properly communicate to them to back off without making the squishies the front line?
Do you have friends that play this game?
I do, but I usually don't have a 5-man, maybe one other person with me.
First suggestion is dynamically queue, get like 2 or 3 people, and then you don't have to worry about 3/5 of your team doing dumb shit. Second suggestion is type and be like, hey, if I'm going to force a fight, I'm going to do this, and if you're going to go in, do that. We need Sivir and Azir to stay in the back and poke. You know, that's what you want to do if you want to fight. If you want to do the objective, be like, hey, this is dumb to chase them. They're just going to kite us forever. Let's just go take an objective. Do the smart thing, win the game, you know.
I only type like 70 words a minute.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm saying maybe do that while you guys are running towards Dragon from base. I'm not saying do that while you're doing that dance thing, because that's how somebody's going to get picked off, right? But set them up ahead of time. A lot of the time, you can kind of see this kind of dance happening in the pre-game champ select. So before the game even starts, start planning strategy. That'll also tell you something. If your team is like, shut up, noob, get good, Tyler won for life. You know, that tells you, okay, they're not going to listen to calls. The objective thing isn't even going to be possible. And that tells you it's going to be your job to engage, right?
Yeah, well,
but if they're listening like, wow, you're smart, we should totally do that, then cool. Now it's easier.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. I don't know how often it happens, but that's how I would do it. It's a lot easier in Diamond because people actually want to win sometimes, and they actually know how champs kits work and understand that kind of stuff. But down in Silver, you got a bunch of people learning the game that came over from Call of Duty or Overwatch or whatever, and are trying to go over all the kills.
I came from StarCraft.
You came from StarCraft, so you understand all the micro and macro and all that good stuff, but you probably haven't had to play with other people before. So a lot of League is manipulating people to not be dumbasses.
Well, I did play the original Warcraft 3 mod for a while.
Okay. Oh, gee, impressive. But a lot of it is getting very good at using the least amount of words to make your team not be dumbasses. It's almost like poetry. Every word has to count, and nothing can be wasteful, you know? So everything you say has to be just on point.
Wait, you mean I gotta communicate in a team game?
Right? I know, it sucks, but but that's how we got to do it. So I would try typing. The earlier you do it, the better, just so it's in the back of their minds. Be like, hey, as long as Sivir and Azir stay behind me, we win. Wow, if we make them chase us, we win. You know, that even if you don't type 70 words a minute, you know, that's not a lot of words to type. So just do that. Yep. And then if you're getting answers, like if the Azir's like, shut up, noob, spamming his mastery emote, you know he's probably not going to listen to you. He's just going to jump in and do dumb shit. So then your job becomes, okay, I have to be the one to jump in first, because if he jumps in first, he's just going to die because their team comp is literally a pick comp. So then your decision path becomes easier. But the best situation is just force the objectives and make them come to you. The second best situation is you force the team fight. And if your team is going to tie your hands and make it so you only have one choice, just figure it out early so you know what that one choice is and start building accordingly. Like if Kindred's 5-0 and everyone else doesn't have kills, you're probably going to stack some armor, right? If the Ahri's 5-0, you're probably going to get a Spirit Visage early. You know, so just think about that, because your job is going to be to jump in first and tank as much damage as possible.
I need to adapt my build. I'm cookie cuttering right now.
Oh, don't cookie cutter. It's not good. Uh, Different builds for different situations. Do we want to talk through that?
Sure.
All right, here. So my favorite thing to do is go to champion.gg just to start, because sometimes the builds are shit. Like for a while, the optimal Sejuani build was just horrible. Like I don't know why someone was doing that over and over. But here, let's look at this. Let's look at the highest win rate core build. So tell me, why are these items really good on Volibear? Because I actually agree with this build. This isn't bad.
Health, resistances, speed.
Why would Sterix be really good on him?
He gets bursted down. He gets big. That's fun. And
Gives
he
him
gets
a
that
shield.
extra shield.
That scales with his percent health. What else is good? Like, let's say he gets bursted down and he has like 1% health left. Why would that shield be really good?
So his passive can proc.
So his
and
passive
do
can
some stuff.
proc, yes. Well, why would the Spirit Visage be good on him?
Increase it.
Increase the passive health regen. Also, it's a good anti-magic damage item, right? What about Dead Man's Plate? Why is that good?
Speed on hit.
Speed on hit. So the on hit is also slow, gives him more damage, makes him run faster, so he's harder to kite. Also gives him armor. You know, if you're up against an AD champion like Kindred, you're going to need some armor. Why do they rush the Boots of Swiftness, and then why do they always get this blue smite?
Blue smite, shilling smite, helps close gap, extra slow. Swifties, tenacity, speed.
Yep. Swifties doesn't have tenacity, but it has slow resist. So if they have
Slow
that
resist,
Zillion that's
okay.
going to slow you, if they have that Ash that's going to kite you, it'll help there. Masteries, also note, the good players are taking this one, which has tenacity and slow resist. That also makes a lot of sense. So just something to think about. But this build, like, even if you cookie cutter it, it's fine, but the order you build it in matters. So, like, what order would you build against this team comp? Or this team comp, I'm sorry.
This team comp. AD.
And this is a trick question, by the way. I'm going to tell you right now.
I mean, besides the jungle item and the boots,
Yeah, well, jungle item and boots, you're probably building those first. Why?
move around quicker.
Move around quicker. You're a jungle. The entire map is your lane. So the sooner you get Swifty boots, the better. So that makes sense. But why do you want to finish Cinderhulk first?
Tank stats.
Tank stats. What does it do?
It's the AoE dot. Or it does damage to people.
It does a lot of damage. What else does it help you do in the jungle, too?
Sustain. Kill things faster.
Kill things faster.
Kill things faster.
So does Volibear hit multiple things or one thing at a time in the jungle?
One thing at a time.
One thing. He has his E, but I mean, that's not going to, like, kill all the little creeps, right? So what Sunfire does, or I'm saying Sunfire, it's Cinderhulk, but it has that Sunfire AoE passive, so every second it's doing a tick of damage to everything. It makes it so you can ignore the little guys in camps and just focus down the big guy. So it speeds up your clear. What else does it do? Like, let's say you're running this one, Strength of Ages, which you probably should be in the Mastery if you're jungling. Why would Cinderhulk be good with this?
Oh, build up tank.
Build up tank. How does Cinderhulk do that?
When it gets kills, it increases.
Nope. Oh, when this gets kills, it increases. As you kill jungle items, it increases. But this is Cinderhulk. The item is Cinderhulk. I'm sorry. The
item is Cinderhulk, okay.
This is Strength of the Ages. Sorry, semantics. Why would you want to buy Cinderhulk if you're taking this mastery?
The first thought that comes to mind is help me not miss CS, but I'm not in lane.
Yeah, you're not in lane, so that doesn't make any sense. Do you want me to just tell you?
Yes, I don't know.
Alright, so one of the reasons that Cinderhulk is really, really good is this right here. Can you see from the screen share?
See what? You froze.
I froze! Okay, that's why I'm confused. Let me... This is super annoying, by the way. I'm so sorry.
It really is, yes.
Alright, can you see again?
Bonus health!
Bonus health! Okay, so 15% bonus health. So you get 400 health, and all your bonus health is increased by 15%. So if you get 300 health from this just for free, and then you buy Cinderhulk, what does this actually turn into?
15% of 300, that's an extra 45. So 345.
Nice math. Yeah, so you just get an extra 45 health. What happens if you also build this item, which has health?
Even more, that's 500 health.
Even more. What happens if you build Spirit Visage, which has health?
It's even more, 500 health.
What about Sterix Gauge? Does that have health?
Yes, that is health.
So you essentially get an extra 1 to 2 items just because you bought Cinderhulk and you're running this and you're buying a bunch of health items. Also, Sterix Gauge, what is the passive on that? I can't spell for life.
Sterix Gauge, it gives you a shield and increases lifesteal, and it gives you lifesteal and spell vamp for
Yeah.
a short time.
But look at this.
Yeah, okay, 30% maximum health.
So does this item get stronger or weaker when you have more health? I mean, it's a really obvious question, right?
Gets stronger.
Stronger. So the more health you have, the better this item gets. So that's why this build makes a lot of sense. Now, when I go back here and I ask, okay, so here's your team, actually. I actually screwed this up, my bad. Your team, their team. So ignore that if you rewatch this video. But what should you build against this team first? And we already said boots and the jungle item. That kind of makes sense. Well, but first, let's break it down. Why would you want to build the jungle item first? Why wouldn't you go straight to Thornmail?
Health.
Health. Why? You're right. Just why?
Because it gives me more health when to regen for my passive.
Yeah, I guess so. So that's one reason. But I'm thinking about something different. You want me to break it down for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Early game will let's say Ashe and Ahri. Will they have a lot of damage early?
Ashe and Ahri, no.
No. Why not?
They're late game champions.
They're late game champions. They need items. They need levels. They need a bunch of stuff. So early game, they're not going to be doing a bunch of damage, right? What damage is going to be hitting you early game, like before level 6?
Kindred.
Well, Kindred for sure, but let's say like maybe you gank Ahri. You know, what is Ahri's kit going to do to you?
True damage.
Well, a little bit of true damage, yeah. So here, you have true damage. She'll have a little bit of spells, but not a lot because she's not scaling up yet. So true damage, magic damage, maybe Kindred's there to counter gank. The minions will be hitting you. You're going to be hit by minions in the jungle. So you have AD damage, magic damage, true damage, just because you have a freaking Ahri on the enemy team. So does it make sense to build Thornmail when you're being hit by like 3 types of damage?
No.
Okay, so what stat can you build that is good against every type of damage?
Health.
Health. So early game, you'll see tank champions build health. And the reason is it's good against everything. Now, eventually, let's say Ashe has 10 kills at like 15 minutes. If you stack more health, is that better than stacking armor?
No.
Why?
Because she'll start doing more damage.
She'll start doing more damage. She'll just eat through all your health. So what does armor do in magic resist? They're the same thing. They just affect different types of damage. But why are they important?
Reduce damage.
Yes. There's actually a math equation that I can send to you afterwards. It's really nerdy. But it's like, okay, if the enemy team has this much AD... Actually, it's if the enemy team has like AD damage that you want to itemize against and you need a certain amount of armor and you're at a certain amount of health, should you buy more health or more armor to be tankier? It's called effective health. Let me write that down.
Cause doesn't there gets a point when you get armor where it gets decreasing returns the more armor you buy.
Yes. But it depends on health. It's like a weird calculus equation. But essentially it's like what is it here? Let me see if I can just find it. I didn't think I'd be talking about this today, otherwise I'd set it up.
Are you typing right now?
I am typing, I'm Googling something, we might be frozen.
Okay, I still have mid Ahri highlighted.
Ah, fantastic. Yep, we're frozen. But here, let me send you a link. And I'm gonna redo the screen share again. This is super annoying.
I'm so sorry, yeah. I'm literally in a basement right now.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna send you something over Skype, so maybe copy it into something else before it dies. And let me throw this into the chat window too, so anybody watching can get it. But this is an older post. It's from 2011, but it is dead on. Just read this if you are ever on lunch break or whatever. But it gives you the actual kind of percentage for figuring out like when you buy magic resist and when you buy health to be a better tank.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. But generally what's nice is Riot has already balanced the game for you, so you don't actually have to worry about that. You just have to be like, oh, I'm about at the point where, Ahri is really, really strong. Maybe I need to buy some magic resists. So I should buy my magic resist item. So if Ari is starting to get strong, which one of these items are you going to start building?
Spirit Visage.
Spirit Visage. So let's say it's not
hoodie.
Yeah, get the hoodie, get the Spirit Cowl, right? So let's say Ari isn't getting strong. Let's say that the Azir is dumpstering her and she's 0-5, is still working on her first item at like 15 minutes. Are you going to buy Magic Resist?
No.
No, because she's still an early game damage dealer, so health is better there. But let's say Kindred and Ashe are fed. What are you going to start building?
Dead Man's Plate.
Dead Man's Plate, exactly. Maybe even Dead Man's and Thornmail, depending on how fed they are. But
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I enjoy Warmogs on Volley.
I do too. It's very good.
But where do I put it in?
Well, in this situation, why would you buy? I would put it in place of Sterix Gauge, but only in some situations versus another. Why would I want Sterix Gauge over Warmogs?
If I'm worried about burst.
If you're worried about burst, exactly. So if they can actually burst down a 5,000 health bear, Sterix Gauge is the item to buy. Let's say they don't, though. Like, let's say they have a team like this that's just going to poke you forever.
Yeah, then I would get the Warmogs for the sustain.
Then you get the Warmogs for the sustain, which works really well with Spirit Visage. Because they poke you down a little, you just back off, 8 seconds later, you're full health again.
I feel like old school Garen, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like Garen. Works really well if you have that and like 3 water dragons too, by the way. So that's when you would do it. But the Sterix Gauge here, this is just so they can tower dive and do crazy shit. This is a Volibear pushing his advantage. He is like literally throwing himself into situations where he is probably going to be burst down just to like close out the game.
I'm not confident enough in my ability to Volibear to do stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at their team, like this team, they're probably not going to burst you down. But let's say instead of an Ahri, they have an Annie. Top lane, they have a Riven. Bot lane, they have a Jhin. The support is, for some reason, a Zyra. Lots of damage. And in the jungle, like, what's the scariest burst jungler you can think of?
Scariest burst jungler I can think of?
Yeah.
Like a Rengar or a Kha'Zix.
Let's say Rengar, and he's going full damage. Would you want Warmogs in that situation?
I would not want to team fight in that situation.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you do. But I would not get a Warmogs. I would get, like, a Sterix Gauge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends too. It always depends. If it depends is always the right answer in these situations. But that's kind of what you want to think. If they're just going to poke you down and try to tickle you a little, get Warmogs and just laugh it off. But if they're like an all-in bursty kind of comp, Sterix Gauge is better. But generally, right here, like this path, these 4 items, probably core on Volibear. And then the Thornmail I can see, because if you're building straight tank, you're going to want a little bit of damage. And what you can do with the Thornmail, you can also smite the Gromp. That gives you an extra Thornmail on top of your Thornmail. So when they hit you, they get damage over time. And another thing you can do is get the blue elixir. Have you ever looked at that?
Not really, no. I haven't.
Well, here. It's 500 gold. You can only buy it after level 9.
It's for mages and stuff.
Yes and no. This is not the right one. Shit, where is it? Here, let me pull up my League client so I can actually show you. Item sets. Can you see my thing? Elixir of Sorcery is what I'm going for.
Okay, yeah.
So, look at what it does. Grants 50 ability power, 15 bonus mana regen, and sorcery for 3 minutes. So, the ability power, you have a little bit of ability power scaling, but not a lot. So, that's not what we're buying this for. The mana regen kind of nice, but that's not what we're buying this for. What are we buying this for?
The bonus true damage.
Yes, so what does it do? Damaging a champion or turret deals 25 bonus true damage.
So you're tanking turns and you're taking them down really quickly.
So if somebody hits you and you have Thornmail, does this procs? So think about that for a second. So you can kill turrets very quickly. If someone like an Ashe or a Kindred are right-clicking you, you're doing Thornmail damage to them, you're doing true damage to them, and you have the Gromp poison ticking. You can still build straight tank and do damage. So that's one of the reasons that build kind of makes sense. But you can help it along, is what I'm saying. Smite the Gromp, that gives you extra damage on top of it. Get the blue elixir if you have a spare 500 gold laying around.
Okay.
Yeah. That works really well on Rammus, too, by the way, because you can use your W even if you don't have enough for Thornmail yet.
Rammus is a fun champion.
Yeah, he was the first one I actually learned. I like him a lot. Okay, does that help? Kind of make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, so build-wise, what I would do is I would always buy these first two. That's your core. And the blue smite makes sense because you need it to secure ganks and stuff like that. The Thornmail is situational. Like, I took my sweet rolls asking about that in chat. If they don't have champions, they're going to auto-attack you, then kind of dumb to buy it. If they have something like a Jinx, yeah, Thornmail's great. But let's say they have something like a Corki. Is he going to be auto-attacking you?
No.
No. Half his kit is magic damage anyway, so, like, Thornmail would be a dumb buy here. Maybe you get something else. Maybe you get, a Sterak's Gauge and a Warmogs. I don't know. But, just mix it up. Maybe you get a ZZ Rot. That'll make you run faster. They'll give you split pushing power. It'll help against Corki since he does both types of damage. So Thornmail is situational. But I think these first 4 items are probably core on Volibear. After that, Spirit Visage, either a Warmogs or a Sterak's Gauge, depending on if they're burst or not. And then situational item is just, do they have 3 auto-attacking champions like they do in our made-up scenario here? Tryndamere, Kindred, Ashe, Thornmail makes perfect sense. Do they have like a Corki and their damage is split? Something like a ZZ Rot might be better. Do I actually need to do damage because we have 5 tanks on our team? Maybe I get the Titanic Hydra, which gives you max percent health damage on all your autos.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's really fun on him because you can auto, then you Q to reset your auto, and then you do the passive, so you get 3 real quick bursts of damage, and then you do your W, and then they're dead. Like, here, let me actually show you. Like, I was experimenting with Devourer Volibear a while back, which is just hilarious to me.
I would love to see.
I had one highlight from a normal game, so it wasn't against, like, diamond people or anything. Let me find
like gray screened. So
I can't handle my YouTube channel.
It's too awesome.
Let me just send you the link so you don't have to worry about screen sharing a thing.
Alright.
Where is it? I was making a video a while back, so I was going through all these to find the right highlights. Where is it? One thing I like about Twitch, I like rewatching all my stuff so I can find things. Where is it? This is going to be totally worth it. It's like a 7-second clip. Trust me.
No, I believe you. I'm just going through different scenarios of different things with what you've told me.
Maybe I just have to search. Alright, I'll find it and send it to you.
Okay.
There. First. Monday. God, where the hell is it? Oh, I just found this, too. That's why it's at the top of my mind. So, I'm sorry. Here, I don't want to waste your time. If you want to talk about something else, I can like look and try to find this on my other screen while we're talking.
Okay.
But I want to show you because it's actually a pretty cool combo. Oh, here it is. Here, I found it. Okay, haha.
Straight brutal damage.
This is me learning him.
There we go.
So here, just watch that real quick. But if you look at the combo, this is me like screwing up the combo. I didn't even alt. I Q, I flash in, auto,
There
boom.
we go. Use my auto there.
Flash in, auto.
Yeah, and I had to burn my Q and flash just so I can grab him, because otherwise he'd just dash away and kite me. But the Devour made it so I got my W real quickly, so it was jump in, throw him behind me, auto once, the Q in my auto makes it so I have 3 stacks of my W on him, and then I use the Titanic active, and then I W for the execute damage, and he's just dead. If I was better, I would have
Spam
ulted.
in my A ping.
What's up?
Spam in my A ping, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. The connection between you is too slow to share screens. So Skype is like stopping us from sharing screens, it looks like. But anyway, does that kind of make sense? So that's a combo you can do with him if you just need to kill people. And that was me learning Volibear, so I'm sure that could be a lot smoother and faster if you practice it a little. That was like my first time trying it. And also Devourer isn't a thing anymore, so I guess you could build Rageblade on him, but you'd be too squishy, and that's kind of goofy anyway.
I did play an AP Volibear, or attack speed Volibear in a bot game, and it was really derpy.
Yeah. It's probably fun, but super derpy. Okay, let's make sure we talked through everything, because it's like 2 hours right now, and I don't want to keep you too long if you got shit to do, games to win. Better awareness of the opposing jungler we haven't talked about. How to play when behind we haven't talked about. We did work on impulsive and kind of how to close out games just by thinking about what you should do in different situations. Do you want to talk about anything else? Because I am fine coaching forever.
How to play when I'm behind, that's just basically playing safer, not going into engages. looking at
Playing
things.
safer, but works. But if you're behind and you're playing safer, you're going to stay behind. So let me go back to RiftKit. Can you see my screen share? I have RiftKit up right now. I'm wondering if Skype is being derpy. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, it's a beautiful gray screen for me.
Okay. Fix
Love
your
the moniker.
internet, brah. Fix your
I
internet.
know, I'm working on it. It drives me crazy.
No worries, no worries. Okay, I sent you another screen share. Let me know if you can see this.
I have a picture. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So let's say you're behind. You're not going to win a straight fight. You're not going to win 2v2s or 3v3s. What can you win? You're not going to win a fair fight. So what's the only option?
You don't fight a fair fight.
You don't fight a fair fight. You go for cheese. So let's say the enemy team is super far ahead. One of my favorite things to do on a tank. Do you ever build ZZ Rot?
Yes.
So let's say you build ZZ Rot and you put it right here. You know, and what'll happen if you put it right here? God, make my ZZ Rot bigger. That's the ZZ Rot. What'll happen if you put it right there?
Will they go through the bush?
Yeah, it'll go here. It'll go here. You know, the little breadcrumbs will start flowing. And they'll start attacking this tower. And let's say you put a pink ward right here. And you know that there aren't any wards. What can you and your teammates do now?
We can do a dragon.
Well, you could do a dragon, but what can you do before you do a dragon? Let me ask you a question. Is the enemy team just going to let the ZZ Rot keep pushing?
No, they're gonna go for it.
They're going to go for it. So what can you do when some support or some AD carry just walks up to this bush and tries to clear the ZZ Rot by themselves?
Oh, burst them down, kill them.
So you should be waiting here if you're mid laner and your AD carry, maybe your support. So here, let me zoom in so you can see. It's kind of hard because you got the ZZ Rot squiggle, you got the pink ward, but you stack in this bush, you use the ZZ Rot as bait, and you just sit here and you wait for some moron to walk by. What I like about ZZ Rot is that they will follow the breadcrumb trail of the little ZZ Rot minions, right? And then as soon as they come up there, can you win a 4v1 where they don't see you coming because you're standing on a pink ward?
Yes.
Yes. So now what happens? Let's say top lane is here too. What happens then when the AD carry is out of the picture? He's dead.
We have a lot easier time for team fights.
Can you win a 5v4?
Uh,
Let's say this is a tank jungler, tank top. Support is something goofy like I don't know. Let's just say it's a Zyra and she's just even. She's not doing very well.
yeah.
They have one damage dealer. You have multiple damage dealers, even though they're a little behind. So it becomes suddenly a lot easier to win team fights and force things. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? Let me erase my ZZ Rot trail. So what you have to do when you're playing from behind is set up cheese like that. You look for picks. You look for rotations. All right, what else? You're going to ask me a question. Sorry.
Yeah. Doesn't somebody on their team usually get a blue trinket now?
Yeah, that's how you get away from that. But remember, it's silver. Do people even ward in silver?
Not if I don't remind them.
Not if you don't remind them. So do you think the enemy team is warding in silver? Do you think the enemy team is going to remember to buy a blue trinket when even diamond players forget to do that?
No.
This is what I do when my team is behind, by the way. ZZ Rot is a very good item because it splits up the enemy team. Like if I put it bot lane, for example, like let's say Baron's going to be up in 2 minutes, so I'll come and drop my ZZ Rot down here. I don't know if you can still see. If Skype froze up, let me know. But I'll put it in this bush down. It did?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, let me re-screen share just so you can see the one spot on the map I'm pointing at.
Okay. Well, right now my internet, it's connecting to a wireless adapter from a extender that's
God.
coming from a router. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, but here, just real quick before it freezes up again. Let's say Baron's going to be up in 2 minutes. I would drop my ZZ Rot right down here where the squiggle is. Make sense?
Okay.
Reason I'm doing
Yes.
that is somebody's going to have to go clear it. So probably the only person that's going to go cleared is the top laner because they're usually the one that has teleport, right? So what we can do then is start Baron, force their teleport, then back off. And now my ZZ Rod is still pushing down here, and they don't have teleport. If they don't have teleport, now we can force a 5v4 somewhere up here, take towers, and slowly get back into the game. Because we don't want to fight fair fights because we'll lose because we're behind, right? So we want to force things around the map, so that the enemy team has to split up. And more often than not, people won't know what to do in Silver. So if you're like on this Baron, top lane is down here trying to clear your ZZ Rot desperately. Mid lane's probably farming wolves because they're just bad, Like, you just create all this chaos. And in the chaos, that's when you and your team, who is grouped up as 5, are looking for a pick. So set traps and group up is the main thing you want to do when you're behind. And you're looking for that one person that's derping off by themselves. Now, after that, after you kill the one person, try to take an objective if you're still too weak. Like, maybe you pick the support, and the super strong Vayne is still alive. And the super strong, Azir mid is still alive. And the super strong Kindred jungle is still alive. Maybe you don't pick that 5v4 team fight just because, they still have a lot of damage. But what you did do is you got a bunch of gold for your team. And now the enemy team is a little like, should we force a fight? Should we tower dive without our tanky support? They're a little iffy, so it buys you time then to farm your jungle, go back, buy items, and you've slowly started equalizing that lead that the enemy team has. Does that kind of make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
But the main things you want to do is you want to avoid fair fights, so no 5v5s, no 4v4s, no 3v3s when you're behind. And you want to set up those cheesy bush things, like buy pink wards, sit in a bush. Like, if you know Dragon's going to be up in 2 minutes, that tells you that the support, if they're not complete shit, is going to walk through the dragon area and set up wards, right? So just get your team, sit in a bush, put a pink ward there so you know you're not seen, and just wait. And then when some idiot walks by, just destroy them. Eat them alive, do your bear stuff, as Volibear, and then, force an objective.
How long do I wait for, though?
Well, that's the thing. You're behind, right? So you have to do that. Otherwise, the enemy team is just gonna win. So I would wait maybe a minute or two. If you're sitting there for 10 minutes and the enemy team, if you can see them all on the map and they're hitting your inhibitor on the other side, then, it's dumb to wait in that bush. But if you know, a dragon's going to be up shortly, probably the jungler's going to walk down. Probably the support's going to walk down. Maybe the AD carry will be dumb and start auto-attacking Scuttle. So if you set up, a cheese in that, one little pixel bush here, somebody is going to walk by, more likely than not, especially down in Silver, because everybody wants the dragon. They think the dragon is the most important objective in the game. So use that as bait. Another thing you can do, I really like that ZZ Rod. I'm telling you, it's a really good item for this kind of situation, because it pushes the lane, so it acts like a 6th teammate, and also it's literally a trail of bait that is taking the enemy's towers. So someone will follow it. And the best part is when somebody follows it, the enemy team will start raging at them. And when they're raging, they're not thinking about pushing with their lead. They're busy typing and complaining, and team morale is down. And while that's happening, meanwhile, you guys were waiting in a bush with another pink ward, and that support who was typing to their jungler, "You idiot, why'd you walk into that bush?" Just walks into your next trap, and you kill them. And now everybody's bad mannering in all chat. You're starting to see where this is leading?
Yeah.
So that's what you do when you're behind. You don't fight fair, you fight dirty, you look for picks, you look for cheese, you set traps. Now that only works if you can burst people down. So if you have Volibear jungle, Zac mid, Maokai top, Urgot AD carry, and he's behind because he's playing Urgot AD carry, then I don't know, something without a lot of damage, maybe a Braum support. Might be hard to burst down somebody. You can still do it, but just might be hard. So kind of depends. But hopefully your team has damage dealers. Other things you can do when you're behind. That's one option. That's the best one in my opinion because it works on multiple fronts. You demoralize the enemy team and you pick unfair fights. So I like that. Another thing you can do that's more passive, just buy items like Banner of Command, ZZ Rot. Put them in side lanes. That splits up the enemy team. And then that makes it so you have these 5v3 situations. These 2v1 situations, because people have to go and deal with that. It's if the enemy team had 3 AP champions, maybe a Ryze top, a Lissandra mid, Zillion support, something like that. Maybe an AP jungler, maybe they have 4. no one's going to be able to clear a banner of command except the AD carry, right? So if you push that into bot lane, the AD carry is going to come for it because they're literally the only one that can clear it, and you can just set a trap for them there. Because if they don't have their AD carry, they don't have a lot of their damage. Makes team fights easier.
Okay.
So you're always thinking about how can I force an unfair fight. This also works if you're ahead, by the way. It's just when you're ahead, you don't need to do it because you can just force fair fights and win. Kind of makes sense?
Okay.
And again, this video is recorded, so no needs to take notes. You can just watch it. I like watching them on double speed when I throw them on YouTube, so I don't have to listen to 2-hour videos. So, okay. Well, what else? What else? We got time. I need to make a bathroom break soon, too, because this is like a 2.5-hour coaching session at this point.
Am I taking too long?
No, this is fine, man. And remember, I was late, too. You were kind enough to let me start a half hour late.
Hey, pets have priority, always.
Yep. And thank you for that. But I may need to take 2 minutes to go poop.
That's fine. Go ahead.
All right. But think about what else we want to talk about while I'm doing that. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm back. I think that's literally the most unprofessional sentence that's ever exited my mouth. All right, what else do you want to talk about? I'm good to go now. I'm good for another 2 hours at least.
Alright. I wasn't aware that Twitch was a professional media.
No, of course it is. Very professional. All serious. Very serious business on Twitch. Indeed.
Okay, what about some,
we still have to talk about awareness of the enemy jungler, but if you've been watching my streams, that's like all we talk about in the other ones, because everybody wants to learn how to counter jungle and stuff right now, it feels like. I actually like this lesson because you're asking different questions. Well, what do you want to go over? Your lesson, you drive. Tell me what you want.
Okay. What about some basic stuff like jungle pathing? Do I kill the little guys or the big guy first? Different camps.
Okay, cool. There is a very good Foxtrot video about this. But let's walk through each one. So on the Krugs, little guy or big guy, what do you think?
Big guy.
No, little guy. If you kill the little guy first, you take less damage. On the red one, little guys or big guys first?
Big guy.
Big guy, yep. Take less damage. Same thing. The little guys just tickle a little. On the chickens, little guy or big guy first? Or the raptors, whatever you would call them. They're always chickens to me. Little guys, because if you don't kill the little guys first, you take less damage. And this is just early. Like, once you get a Cinderhulk, you can just sit there and they all tickle. It doesn't really matter. Once you get Cinderhulk, always hit the big guys first, because the little guys will die to the AoE damage. And with your fear, they won't really be hitting you that much anyway. Alright, and the wolves, little guys or big guys first?
Big guy?
Big guy, yeah. The little wolves don't do that much damage. If you kill the big guy first, you take less damage. Reason I know this, I literally went in and tried both ways and saw which one did less damage to me and which one had a faster clear. So the ones I'm telling you are just optimal things. Blue is the same as red. Do the big guy. And then the Gromp, which one do you do first? The big guy or the big guy?
Ah, shit.
This is a tough one.
I know, I'm working. I'm gonna take the second one.
Yeah, the big guy. Okay, good. Good, I was worried.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, that's it. Pretty easy. Now, you're pathing through here. It depends what you want to do. So, like, on the other coaching sessions, we talk a lot about win conditions and stuff, right? I'm actually going to reset this because I'm too lazy to move everything around. Can you see my screen, first of all? Is it freezing up? I'm moving the arrow around.
No, it's gray screen.
Fantastic. So it's going to be really hard to draw freaking jungle pathing that you can see if it's gray screened. So here,
You just tell me.
let's just tell you. Let's use our imaginations. I'm still going to draw it because we'll have the video afterwards. But
Yeah.
what are you trying to do? So like what are your win conditions? What are you trying to do? We can use the same team we talked about earlier if that's easy. But what do you want to do early? Because that determines your clear path. Like an
I would like to
example
get a
of
0 gold.
you want to get a 0 gold. Okay, makes sense to me.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So you're looking to probably get an early gank on Ahri. Why would getting an early gank on Ahri be good?
Before she has her ult.
Yeah, before she has her ult, because her ult makes it a freaking nightmare for Volibear to try to gank her, right? Rhetorical
Yeah.
questions.
So
So what? What's up?
I'm a fan of taking my leash, and then doing my buffs, and then ganking.
If you're looking to gank Ahri, that's pretty optimal. So I would do like Krugs if you're red side, Gromp if you're blue side, buff, go to gank. So that's a fine jungle path if what you want to do is get a 0 ahead. Because remember, you have that clock ticking down where if Ahri hits 6, you're never going to be able to kill her. So I think that's smart. And I would do camp, buff, look for a gank mid. If you get the gank or you force her out of lane or whatever, camp, come back, gank mid again. That would be my path.
Okay. When I start blue side, I have some trouble with sustain because I don't have when I do that path because I don't have the smite to get that extra health from red buff.
Ah, well, you mean when you start red side, I guess. Well, this is blue side. I'm saying red jungle, blue jungle side. That's what I mean by that. So blue side down here, you start Krugs, do red, then do blue, right?
Yeah.
What abilities do you start on Volibear?
I start W and then I get E.
All right, start E first, by the way. Why would you want to start E first?
Okay. You'll take less damage.
Everybody will take less damage because the fear on that is super long. So, and you're getting a leash, so you don't need the extra damage, right? But if you have it second, you should be able to kite these guys around okay. So with what you want to do, and maybe work on this in a custom game or like a co-op versus AI game. Remember we talked about that at the beginning. Work on kiting mechanics.
Yep.
So do you just sit there and auto attack the guy and let him smack you in the face?
I don't, but I don't think I kite very well at all.
So work on kiting. That'll help you keep your health up. Also, masteries might matter. What masteries are you taking on volley? Like, you're going down the resolve tree, right?
Yeah, doing the green tree.
Do you take
All the way
recovery at the very first one or on yielding?
First one.
The first one,
I
recovery.
don't know off the top of my head.
Well, here, look at your page. Just tell me what you did. Here, I'll look at your Lol King and see what your mastery is. Volibear. Okay, so it looks like your page... Actually, yeah, this is what I would recommend. I would not take Legendary Guardian, though. I would take Swiftness, 5 points in that, because remember, you're going to get kited. If they don't have any CC, then it makes sense to go Legendary Guardian, but that never happens, ever. But I like this. Another thing you can do, instead of Natural Talent, which doesn't really do anything for you, take Vampirism. Because the Lifesteal and the Spell Vamp, even though it's only a little, it'll keep you healthy early.
Okay.
Another thing you can
those up.
do is don't go 12 points in Ferocity, go 12 points into Cunning. Because that'll make you move faster of Wanderer. You can take Secret Stash so that your Hunter's Potion gives you more potion, which heals you more. Or you can take the Runic Affinity, which makes all the jungle camp buffs last longer, which means you'll have more Krug stuns or more Gromp Poison, which means faster clear and less damage. And also, Merciless is good since you have execute damage, and Dangerous Game, when you have 5,000 health, heals you for quite a bit. So I would recommend going 12 points in Cunning versus 12 points in Ferocity.
Okay.
But again, it's not bad. It could go either way. I mean, the Ferocity will speed up your clear a little. Cunning will make you stronger mid to late game and get you a little bit healthier early game. You have options. Do whatever you think is better. But what you want to work on is when you right-click the enemy champion to use your auto attack, right-click away so that he has to walk a little. That'll make it so he has less damage per second, you have more damage per second, because your auto attack has a cooldown like a spell. It's just a very small cooldown. So
Yeah, okay, yeah.
work on that. If you're starting in the red jungle, so like blue side, you'll have the Krug passive, right? So another thing you can work on is every 5 autos, you're going to get a stun. So make sure that you don't overlap your E fear with that stun. Like save your E until right after the stun wears off. So that's another thing you can work on to be a little bit better. If you're starting blue side like Gromp and then blue, you can't really do that, so it doesn't matter. But you were asking about if I start Krugs then go red. So juggle your Krug stun. Use your E to slow things down too. And usually what happens is you'll stun with the Krug. When the stun wears off, then you'll use your E. By the time that E wears off, you'll have your Krug stun again. By the time that wears off, your E is about to come off cooldown again. Do you see what I'm getting at? You're not taking any damage.
Yeah.
So get really good at that. And then if you're, when it's not stunned, if you're like right-clicking away and then right-clicking back to auto-attack him again, you'll take even less damage. And then while that's going on, your masteries are ticking and you're healing up from all the resolve tree. So if you do this right, you should be full health the entire jungle path. What are your runes, too? Let's look at that.
I have standard. Pretty standard.
So is it attack speed? You got 1 crit. Oh, you did hybrid pin. Okay, that could work on him. And flat armor.
I was using the hybrid pin on Shyvana.
Yeah, Shyvana, that works really well for her. She does AP, she does AD damage. She does both. It's good.
You're the one who told me to build that rune page for her.
Yeah, it's a strong rune page for her. So this can work for Volibear. Yeah, you should be fine with this.
Okay.
When you get better at kiting and using your abilities to like make sure they don't hit you, like what I'm talking about is juggling that Krug stun and also using your E fear effectively, you can swap out some of these armor seals. Like one thing I do on Sejuani now, the page I've been running has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scaling health. Because remember, health is stronger early than just flat armor. And then I have 3 scaling armors. So I get the same amount of armor once I hit like level 6. But I have to be really good at kiting those creeps around, otherwise I get my ass kicked in the jungle. So like that's only something you do once you feel confident that you're taking literally no damage because you're using your abilities well.
Okay.
Also, those things cost IP, so it depends if you have extra cash laying around. But for now, this should be a fine rune page. The extra attack speed will help you stack that Krug stun faster. You have plenty of damage from the hybrid penetration stuff. Randomly, you'll get a crit that'll speed up your clear, so it's all good. Like it a lot.
Okay.
All right, what else? We're talking about clears early. So if you're going to gank that camp, buff, do that is fine. Another thing you can do, like let's say you're going for Rift Herald early. Like one thing I do in a lot of my games is I go for a 7-minute Rift Herald because 90% of the time the enemy jungler is going to be on the other side of the map right at 7 minutes, feeding their blue buff to mid or like going to clear their red buff, depending on what side of the map they're on. So if I'm doing that, all I'm trying to do is do a full clear because I'm going to get as strong as possible by killing as many things as possible. Because I need at least like level 5 and a Hunter's Potion to clear the Rift Herald. So
when you're
you're
getting Rift Herald, your top laner, you probably need top laner's help. So do you need to?
You need somebody's help, yes.
So should you gank top lane first, kill the top laner, make her go back, and then bring your top laner in, or just say top laner, come here?
You can do a couple things. Like what I do in Diamond is I say, hey, around 6 minutes, shove your lane really hard. Because at 7 minutes, we're going to take Rift Herald, and I'm going to give it to you. And when I say I'm going to give it to the top laner, they're like, oh, really? Because most junglers just take it because it's better on the jungle. But I hate having my top lane like lose the game for me. So I prefer to give it to top lane, and I just ignore them for the rest of the game. And that's just because on me as a jungler, like mostly all my games are like Sejuani games right now. So I'm just trying to spam her, see how high I can climb. She doesn't need the extra damage from the Rift Herald. She can use it, but I'd rather give it to like my Riven top or my Tryndamere top or my Singe top, right? So they don't die as much and feed the enemy top laner who's always something scary, it feels like. But what you need to do is set them up. So if they're not pushing the lane, do exactly what you said. Go gank them. Or go up and shove the lane for them. They'll hate you for it, but be like, hey, I'm sorry. Here, let me give you Rift Herald. You know, like really lay it on thick, too. You're really good. I'm sorry, I messed up. Let me give you Rift Herald to make it up for you. You know, just all your wiles and charm, throw it in there. But ideally what you would do is you would go up, try to gank. If it didn't work, shove the lane. That's when you apologize for shoving the lane because they'll probably get pissed at you for that. and then you go and do the Rift Herald with them. And if you do that around 6 minutes, the enemy jungler should be running towards their buff on the other side of the map. So it's just something you can do. But if you're doing that, your clear is then Krugs, chickens, red, so you can smite it and get health back, or Krugs, red, chickens, so you can smite it and see wards. See if there's a gank opportunity. If not, wolves, blue, gromp, recall. If you're healthy, go for a gank. If you're not, do scuttle maybe. But you're just doing that, trying to get as many levels as possible. And remember, everything you kill gives you extra health from the Resolve Tree Mastery. So.
Well, let's see. If I do a full clear with volley and then I take another 2 camps, I'll hit level 5.
Yep.
And you said I can solo dragon at level 5.
Yeah, you can do that too.
So I can do that, and that's usually about 5 minutes, 30 seconds or so. 30 seconds for dragon, that'd be 6 minutes. So I could rotate up there while the jungle goes to their buff. Mm-hmm. We could do dragon and then Rift Herald.
You could, but one thing that'll suck if you do dragon. You're going to be in level 4, level 5, and remember, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Famous Mike Tyson quote, right? So if you're planning on doing that, but your enemy bot lane DCs and they get 3 kills or whatever, and now they're shoved in forever, and the support has an early Sightstone and is actually warding dragon, that can fail horribly. The reason I wouldn't recommend an early dragon is because it's super risky. Because with Volibear, you can do it. It's going to take 30 to 40 seconds. You're going to use your passive. You're going to get really low health. So what happens if you're just randomly doing the dragon and the mid laner, who this time it's an Ahri, right? But she hits 6 and is like, oh, you know what? I see the enemy bot lane is pushed up because you told them to push the lane so the enemy bot lane can't come. And she just walks right past you doing dragon.
I get screwed up.
You get killed, and then the enemy jungler who's running towards their blue buff anyway, because it's about that time to feed it to Ahri. And because she just pinged that she's going bot to go kill your bot lane, they're in the area anyway. So then you just handed them a dragon on a silver platter.
Okay.
So you can do it, but remember what we talked about earlier. We're trying to minimize that risk. And that's one of those plays that will probably work 30, 40% of the time. But that means that 60, 70% of the time you'll probably screw up and then lose the game for your team. Now, let's say that it's 9 minutes into the game. That's when their red jungle is spawning. You're not worried about Rift Herald because you already took it. So maybe you do Rift Herald, you back, and then you immediately run towards Dragon. That would be a lot smarter because the enemy jungler is probably on the top side of the map doing their clear. So then you could solo it. I mean, whatever. Maybe throw a pink ward down just to make sure it's not warded. But yeah, go for it. And by then you can definitely solo it, and you won't get low because you're level 6, 7, 8, 9 maybe, depending on how fed you are.
Okay.
Another reason you don't want to do that early dragon, if it's an earth dragon, you just can't solo it at that point. Unless you have very specific runes. And why would you pick specific runes for an RNG dragon that you can't plan for? That's just dumb.
Didn't Riot say they were going to get rid of RNG?
Yeah, and then they definitely released more RNG with that dragon. So there you go. But you got a 1 in 4 chance of being right if you pick those Earth Dragon level 5 soloing runes. And actually, it's worse than that. I think water dragons spawn more often than any other dragon for whatever reason. So a bunch of novice statisticians are throwing stuff up on Reddit saying that 60% of their games they get at least a water dragon, which is just weird. It's a statistical anomaly. So I think it's balanced a very specific way so that certain types spawn less often. So that's interesting. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just saying, don't plan on it because Riot is screwing around with the spawn rates of the dragons, so it's not going to be a straight normal probability problem. If you solve it, let me know because I'm interested. But don't plan on RNG that the game designer is tinkering with in the background. Is what I'm saying.
I got you.
And instead, that Rift Herald play is a lot safer. I've been doing that in my games. I know you've been watching the stream, right? But I think 90% of my games I get Rift Herald for my team doing that. So it works pretty well. I have to look at my stats. I might be embellishing a little, but more than 70% I'm confident in saying.
Okay. Well, usually when I'm trying to play seriously, I do it with a Riven top main.
Oh, that's perfect. Riven loves the Rift Herald. So yeah, and that's very easy. You'd be like, hey, Riven, just all in the top laner at 630, then come right-click the Rift Herald's eyeball for me. Now that's a very easy call. Like, because she can just blow all of her abilities, her ult, just to force them out of lane, even if there's something tanky, right? And that shoves the wave when she's doing that too, because her Q's hitting things, her W's hitting things. She's still relatively healthy with her shield, and then her ult, when she throws the big wave, she can just push the minion wave, make it seem like an accident. And then it looks like she recalled, but no, really, she's hitting the Rift Herald. So that works really nicely if you're doing that. But yeah, again, it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get like your mid lane to 0 ahead before Ahri hits 6, by all means, do camp, buff, gank. That's fine. And you can do camp, buff if there's nothing there, like maybe the Ahri's pushed up into her tower. Then that's fine. Just Gromp, wolves, chickens, your Krugs will be back up. Do that, then you can buy, then you can prepare for Rift Herald. Same kind of thing.
Okay, so say I go camp, buff, and then I do a gank.
Yep.
But then I have to back. So I back, and then what do I do after that? Do I take some jungle? Which side do I start on for optimal?
Okay, first of all, is the screen share up? Can you see?
No, I cannot see.
All right, let me throw it up again, just real quickly. Again, this is a challenge, but we'll get through this together. All right, so here's this right here, right? So what you've done is you've done this camp. Can you see first of all?
Yes, I can.
All right, so this camp are dead, and then you go gank, right? So I talk about this in some of the other videos, but if this camp is dead first, what's the respawn timer on your Krugs?
My Krugs 1 minute 40 seconds.
Minute 40 seconds, right. So if you do Krugs, red, blue, and then gank, are they going to be back up after your recall and walk back towards them?
Let's see. Started
135. You'll probably finish about 150. You'll finish this around 2:15. You'll finish this around maybe 3 minutes. And then you'll gank. That'll be another 30 to 40 seconds. So we're looking at 340. And then you recall, and then you have to walk. So it's like...
Yeah, it'll be up.
It'll be up, right? So if it's back up by the time you recall and come back, what other camps are up too?
Yeah, I mean, everything is up.
Everything, except for the buffs, right? So what are your options?
So that's the conundrum that I was pondering. Do I go take the bot jungle or the top jungle?
Well, here, what do you want to do next? Like, what's your next play? You ganked mid, let's say. You know, so maybe you got mid ahead. Do you want to get your Riven top ahead, since you're duo with her? Do you want to get bot lane ahead? Maybe they're really good. Maybe they're in a tough matchup and need some help. Like, what are we thinking we want to do?
So I'm thinking, if I want to get a specific lane ahead, would I start on the opposite end of the jungle?
Yes.
So when I finish clearing, I would be there?
Because let's say the enemy jungler hasn't ganked. So what happens if you just run straight bot lane, like not even clearing the jungle? Or you do Krugs and then run straight bot lane? Well, what's a thing that could happen if the enemy jungler's in the area?
They'll just come in, counter gank.
They'll come in, and if they counter gank and they're 2 level... Well, not counter gank. Not take your stuff, but if they counter gank, like let's say you're here, you're level 3 because you did camp, buff, gank, and then you recalled. Bot lane's even, but the enemy jungler's been farming this entire time. Are you going to win this fight 3v3?
No.
No, because you're going to be 2 levels behind. So that's why you want to go the opposite side, because like enemy jungler's been farming while you've been ganking, right? They're going to be a little bit ahead just from that. I mean, and maybe you get the gank off, and then you take all the lane farms, so you're a little bit even from that, but ganks can fail. They're risky. So let's say you didn't get a gank. You just forced a flash and another summoner and then, recalled, which is still a successful gank, but you're level 3 still. So since they're level 5, if I wanted to go bot lane, Gromp, it's still like level 1 or 2. Wolves, still level 1 or 2. Chicken's still level 1 or 2. Krugs, they'll be level 4 or 5 or whatever. So you do that, and now you've equalized the experience between you and the enemy jungler. Maybe they're like half a level ahead of you at this point. And then if you want to gank bot, it's a lot easier. Same thing, if you want to do that Rift Herald play, right? It'll be about 4 minutes when you come back. We said we wanted to do this around 6 or 7. Krugs, chickens, wolves, Gromp, looking to gank all the time just to make sure, like if something's free, like if the enemy is tower diving you mid, you don't want to just walk up to your wolves and do them. You want to just go and get the free kill. But, Krugs, chickens, wolves, Gromp, make that top lane play we happen because it'll be around 6 minutes now, and then go do the Rift Herald. So it depends on what you want to do. So figure out what you want to do in 2 minutes and start on the opposite side from that. So kind of a simple answer, but does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, I know you just said it did. I'm just making sure.
It's always good. It means nothing if everything that you said doesn't go through.
Yeah, I'm just asking to make sure because I can explain things like using sports metaphors and all kinds of other stuff just until it lands.
If you use sports metaphors, you're gonna lose me.
See, that's why I didn't. That's why I'm glad you got it the first time. Like I like watching. There's a streamer called Last Shadow. He's like a Korean challenger player, master tier player. He used to coach the LCS teams, but all his metaphors are like Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. So that's different for me because I grew up with like basketball metaphors and stuff. I actually had to. I watched Dragon Ball Z, so those ones hit fine. But I had to watch a few Yu-Gi-Oh episodes just so I understood what the hell he was talking about. So different things for different people. Whatever works for you, we can make it work. All right, what else? We've been talking forever. What's up?
What do you think is good to know for being a jungler?
Dude.
Like, what is like most important things or tips and tricks that you think are good to help?
The most important thing as a jungler is to start thinking 2 minutes ahead. And then when you get good at that, start thinking 3 minutes ahead. And then when you get good at that, start thinking 5 minutes ahead. And then when you get good at that, start thinking 10 minutes ahead. And that's more like, okay, win conditions. What do I need to do to win the game? And that's tough. That takes a lot of time to learn. But
I'm a big chess fan, so...
Yeah, League of Legends is chess, just in real time. So you want to plan out your moves. The player that's thinking 20 moves ahead is going to be better than the player that's thinking 2 moves ahead. So that is the thing you want to start doing. And planning through this route stuff, like that question you just talked about, you're like, how should I do this? And then my answer is, it depends on what you want to do in the next 2-3 minutes, right? Well, that's kind of how you want to think. So like in the back of my mind, I'm looking at team comps and I'm like, okay, this is how team fights are going to go, like late game. What do I need to do early game to win? Okay, maybe I need to get Rift Herald. Maybe I need to make sure the enemy team doesn't get dragons. I need to make sure this particular champion has a lot of gold on them. But all of those points, all those strategic thoughts, then influence what I'm going to do in the next 2 minutes. What I'm going to do in the next 5 minutes. Where I'm going to drop my wards. So that is super important. And once you start thinking like that, once you turn League into chess, then everything else kind of falls into place. But making that jump is really tough. Like, it took me like 5 years of playing before I just started doing that. So if you can start doing that now, you said you're like a year into the game, you're going to be a monster at this game. Because even people like I'm playing against don't do that. Like, I'm losing to junglers that are thinking, like 2 moves ahead just because, I'll get a DC on my team. Or they're just playing some broken champion and there's not much I can do about it playing my shitty Sejuani. But still, it makes it more of a challenge and it's fun. So I'm going to keep at it.
Wait, you play a game for fun?
Yeah. Who knew, right? Like, I hate Nidalee players so much. So much that champion has so many stats for no reason. But anyway, I digress. No salt. I'm not salty at all about Riot balance or anything. Okay, does that kind of make sense? I don't know if that's something actionable, though. Like, I don't know if you're like, okay, good, start planning 20 minutes ahead. Got it. Gonna do that in all my games. Well, it's kind of hard to just do it, right?
Yeah, I gotta consciously work at it, and then it'll click.
So a good way to do that, rewatch your games. Like if your computer's crashing with Skype screen share, I don't know how easy that's gonna be. But like I recommend like just getting OBS, Open Broadcast System, and just recording your games as you play them. It'll spit out video files in some folder, and then you can just rewatch them and then do what we did here. Be like, okay, what are the team comps? How are team fights going to go? What should I have done to win? And then watch your game and be like, okay, what did I do? Oh God, why did I do that? And then you'll learn.
All right. You said my thoughts exactly. I was just thinking it's gonna be a cringe fest.
Oh yeah, like I watch my games now. Like every stream, I'll rewatch it on like double speed, and more often than not, I'm like, what am I doing? And that's when like the tiredness starts kicking in. I'm like, oh, it's the last game of the stream. Maybe someone was heckling me in Twitch chat and I tilted a little. It's just like, oh god. But those are the games you learn from, because you look at those mistakes and you're like, oh wow, because recognizing the mistake is the first step. Like most of the players I have coached, like the thing I've noticed is they don't know how to recognize their mistakes. So watching your own games and actually having the foresight and knowledge to be like, oh, that's a mistake. That's step one. Then being like, okay, I'm making a mistake. How do I fix it? That's step two. And then how do I just not do that mistake ever again and start planning out what I actually should be doing? That's step three, and that's when you'll start climbing.
If there's anything I can do, that's recognizing when I make a mistake.
Yep.
I just gotta learn how to fix it.
Yep. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Like we were talking about jungle clears, right? Easy way to work on jungle clear is just go to that Co-op vs. AI game and be like, how can I do this a little bit better? Because every time you do something 1% better, you're 1% better than everybody else in your tier. Like all those little tricks start adding up, and then suddenly you're a full health Volibear instead of a half health Volibear ganking level 3 with double buff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of the thought process. Helpful?
Yes.
All right, what else? More questions?
I would like your opinion, your feedback. What would you think I would need to know based on my questions, based on your knowledge of what people know at this point about jungle at where I'm playing at?
Well, you're down at silver. The most important thing down there is to just farm. Because most people are like trying to make the LCS big plays. They're trying to go for kills and stuff. So if you just kind of ignore them and power farm, eventually you'll be like level 7. They'll be like level 4. Like we played a game last night. It was a viewer game. I don't know if you were watching. And one of the guys I'm going to coach like in a week or two was playing Vi jungle. And he's like, how'd I do? And then the Platinum 1 Garen Novadisk, who was playing with us, was like, you were level 4 at 7 minutes. Because he kept trying to do ganks without Vi's ult. Like he was doing level 2 ganks, level 3 ganks. He wasn't farming. Well, that's who you're playing against. So, like, you can do the exact same thing and you're both kind of dumb and, like, just hitting each other with a wet noodle and doing no damage. Or you can just sit there and power farm, get your power spike, and then force your advantage down their throats. So, it kind of depends on who you're playing. Like, Volibear, we talked earlier, he can 1v1 anyone early game. So, maybe you just need to start walking into the enemy jungler and starting shit. But again, depending on who you're playing. Like, if you're playing Vi, power farm, get 6, use that. Figure out how to farm faster than anybody else. Like, there's a specific clear that I like doing on Sejuani where I'm like, Krugs, chickens, wolves, Gromp, recall. Krugs, red, chickens, wolves, blue, Gromp, recall. Krugs, I'm level 6 with double buff at 6 minutes. And then
so you don't...
What's up?
So you don't take the buffs the first time around?
Nah, I mean, they're hard. They do a lot of damage. They have a lot of health. And because of the respawn timers on the little camps, minute 40, I can get away with that. Now that strategy fails if I get invaded, right? So if there's like a Lee Sin on the other team or a Nidalee that's going to be hunting me or a Volibear that's going to be hunting me, they're going to come in and be like, oh, a level 1 red buff. Don't mind if I do, just eat it. So then it fails. But if I'm up against like a passive jungler like an Amumu or something, like he's not going to invade me, so I can just do that. And then I can be 6 while he's still level 4 because he did the camp buff, tried to gank level 3 while I was farming my entire jungle. So, you have options, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But if you're playing Volibear, I think that the camp buff, it's not bad. Because when you're level 3 and they're level 1 or 2, that's a pretty big power spike. Because they don't have all their abilities yet. Like, even if it's Ahri mid, like we talked about, and she's still level 2, does she even have her charm? I don't know. Probably not. I think you would go QW and then charm, right? Well, let's see what Ahri's max. I'm going to champion.gg. It looks like good Ahris take charm first, but that's probably because they're looking for a pick, like when they invade or something. And then it's 2 points into Q. Bad Ahris go Q and then charm. So yeah, it's probably up. But I don't know. It depends on the player. If you like look mid and notice that she has 3 little foxfires around her, maybe it's because she took it level 2 and has her Q. That tells you she has no way to stop you from jumping on her except flash. So I don't know. Depends on what you're trying to do again.
I like it when they flash early. Then I can just queue and flip them over.
Yep. So much fun. And yeah, if you save your flash, they flash, you flash with them. You know, it looks sweet, demoralizes them. You spam your mastery emote right before you nom them. It's glorious. All right, what else?
I think right now it's try shit out, fail, see what I did wrong,
Yep.
do it again.
I recommend playing for a week or two, record a game where it was dead even and you lost and you don't know why, and then come back and we'll watch it together and we'll go over a bunch of stuff that you could have done better. And we'll go over the stuff that you did well too. I mean, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, you suck, you suck, you suck. I'm gonna be like, wow, that was really good if it was really good. But we'll walk through why it was really good so you can understand.
Okay,
Cool?
that sounds awesome.
All right, let's do it then. Yeah, good stuff, man. And I'll send you a recording of this video, so if you want to rewatch it or skip to the parts that are interesting, like, go for it.
Okay, okay.
All right, and let me know if you have any more questions. Like, if you're, like, 3 a.m. asleep and you just think of something, just shoot me a message.
All right, I will.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to end the call, because I might play a game or two tonight. I'm not sure.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, man. And good luck if you play.